USA patriotism, and that was the theme that followed for years. In the 1980s, the Walt Disney Company got involved and we started seeing some interesting and questionable displays. But we got our first glimpse of halftime shows to come in '93 when none other than Michael Jackson stunned fans with his 15-minute medley of his own smash hits. When he walked out on stage, he had to wait for the crowd's cheers to die down for about 2 minutes before even starting his first song.
Around with these on. But it's thought his whole Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894 in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this protection was pretty important for footballers. Multiple studies have shown wearing shin pads clearly reduces the risk of players getting lower leg injuries. And so in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became a part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says pads must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection.
Very good morning to you. 3 minutes past 6 o'clock. It's Monday, August the 24th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. And on Clark's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. Coisty, good morning.
Very good morning, Jeff. How are you this morning? How was your weekend, pal?
Mixed. It was mixed, to be honest. We had a nice time. All my family was down for the weekend, and that was great. What about you?
Great, mate. Very good. I was at Hull on Saturday for the lunchtime kickoff.
Yeah.
Brilliant performance. So Hull thoroughly deserved their victory, mate. Manchester United really poor, very poor. Didn't have a lot going for them. In fact, not too many get past marks. But it was all about Hull on Saturday, mate.
Yeah.
And then come back up the road, watch the game, and then yesterday, same as yourself, mate. Had a lovely day in the garden with all the family over. Went for a bit of dinner, and I watched bits and pieces of the football. But a little bit shocked with Villa and things like that. But no, had a great weekend, mate. Just kind of chilled.
Brilliant. I tell you what, Scotland fans must be thinking, why did we not take Ollie McBurney to the World Cup?
Ridiculous. I know.
You know.
And by the way, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. You can ask Aid, because Aid and I used to talk about it quite regular. What did he get last year? 19 goals.
Yeah.
He put himself about at the weekend. He was. I thought he was absolutely terrific. He really was. He had a couple of headers himself. Could have scored. Probably should have scored. But I tell you what, they were great value for it, Jeff.
Yeah, they really were. James has texted and he said, "Morning, Jeff. Where's Gabby? Did he call in sick today?" And it begs the question: who had the worst start to the Premier League season? Was it Man U? Was it Villa? Was it Spurs? Some contenders, aren't there?
Oh dear! I mean, I couldn't believe Spurs. I really couldn't believe Spurs, Jeff. Oh man!
You shouldn't be giggling when you say that.
No, I know. I said it the other week. I genuinely have the unbelievable sympathy for Tottenham fans, particularly the last blinking 3 or 4 seasons. I'm thinking to myself, and if you listen to O'Hara, which sometimes you have to do, he's never been more upbeat about a season in a long, long time, and then all of a sudden, bang! Clearly, there's a long way to go, but what a disappointing start. And the Villa as well, and Manchester United, and didn't think City were great. Obviously, left it a little bit late. They got the victory, which was good. I think, I don't know what you think yourself, mate. Hull were impressive. Great result for Ipswich, scoring late on.
Yeah.
Clark, obviously, ex-Sunderland scoring late on, and I thought Hull might have been the performance of the weekend for me.
I think the worst performance, and there are some contenders, there's no doubt, but it's got to be Villa in that.
Cool.
That first half hour against Brighton.
All over the place, mate, weren't they?
Pardon?
They were absolutely all over the place.
Oh, all over the place. And things are, looks like things are going from bad to worse, with obviously suggestions from Unai Emery that Ollie Watkins didn't really want to play, and Martinez probably on his way out as well. And, it's one game, so it's too easy to be knee-jerkist. But Unai Emery must be thinking, what sort of season is this going to be, especially with the Champions League?
100%, mate.
Jack's texted straight away, says, "Morning, Jeff, morning, Ali. No messing about. We've had to listen to Gabby all summer waffle on about the stories about Villa. We need him on this morning pronto to talk Villa and justify that woeful performance. He will be on a bit later."
I'm kind of detecting there's a kind of lack of sympathy out there for Gabby this morning. Would that be fair at this early stage in proceedings?
I wonder why. Brilliant. Look, possibly the game of the weekend was Newcastle-Liverpool's 2-2 draw. First of all, the tribute to Kevin Keegan was absolutely staggering.
Do you know what it was, Jeff? It was both staggering and fitting, and in many ways, I kind of I did. I expected it from those two sets of supporters. To be honest with you, I thought it was nothing short of magnificent. It was touching. It was everything you'd want it to be, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think from the perspective of the game, Newcastle fans will maybe be thinking it's not at all gloom on the Tyne right now. And Liverpool fans could be forgiven for thinking not much has changed. But again, it's one game in. Look, on the final word phone in, the former Newcastle boss, Alan Pardew, criticised Liverpool, in particular, Milos Kerkez and Alexander Isak.
I've got to be honest, it looked very much like Liverpool loved last season, where, it just doesn't look right. There's some big names in the team sheet. It all looks on paper like a really good, powerful team. But they struggled at times today. Didn't push in when they were attacking. So therefore, Newcastle were allowed to break. Some defending. Kerkez, I thought, was poor today. He looks, really out of sorts and got caught. The first goal, I felt sorry for him because he was just nowhere near catching Elanga. He's probably the fastest player in the Premier League, or one of them. So that was a bit unfortunate. But the rest of the game, I didn't think he played well. The worry is at the top of the pitch. More importantly, with the two massive signings, looked ordinary, more than ordinary, didn't they today? They didn't combine. I can't remember a great moment between the two of them. They looked like they were both sort of wearing the role, but not playing the role, if that made sense.
Yeah. Do you agree? More of the same from Liverpool? According to Pards there, Coisty?
It looked a bit like that, didn't it? You're right. And the longer the season goes, he'll get better. Gakpo managed to score again. It just doesn't seem 100% right, Jeff. Do you know what I mean? I can't put my finger on it, and it sounds as though Pards can't put his finger on it. But they just don't seem to be clicking, mate. Is that? How do you see it?
Yeah. Look, Isak still looks like he's struggling. It was a very difficult circumstance for him, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the positives for Liverpool will be that, well, first of all, the young centre-half, Jacquet, looked very assured, very good on the ball. And I think under Andoni Iraola, obviously they're going to bring in more players. But some of the younger players are going to get a chance, which is great. I mean, Luis Kumas got on the pitch towards the end. Victor Munoz got on the pitch and looked quite threatening, actually, I thought, when he came on as well. And obviously Ngumoa started. So, but if you looked at the match, all the outstanding performers, for me, all of them
other side
were in black and white. Johan Wissa was incredible, by a mile his best Newcastle performance. Lewis Hall, outstanding, I thought. Willis Shula, and Jamie Miley. Lewis Miley, I beg your pardon.
Miley, yeah.
Lewis Miley, mixing him up with his brother for a moment. All absolutely exceptional. I mean, Liverpool fans, give us a call this morning, 03717223344. What did you make of that performance? What's up with Isak? Are you confident we will eventually see the £125 million striker? And what about the last gas penalty? Munoz brought down by Lewis Hall in the 95th minute. After the game, new Newcastle boss Matthias Jaisler slated the decision.
I think it's a really soft one, a really soft penalty, and if you give that, then you will see so many penalties throughout the match, throughout the season, and I don't know if this is the benefit for that sport.
I thought it was a penalty, Coisty, albeit a bit of a soft one. What did you make of it?
I'm with you. That's exactly how I described it. Do you know what I thought? As soon as the challenge went in, Jeff, looked at the referee, and I thought it was one of these ones. He gives it, they're not going to change it. They might get away with it. But I thought it was just a penalty. Yes, probably soft. I think he dangles his leg in there. I think the player goes over. And if he hadn't given it, I don't think the VAR would have called him over to change it. I don't. But now as soon as he gives it, they were sticking with the decision. And I'm with you. I'm leaning towards penalty. I was kind of 60-40 penalty.
Yeah, I mean, we will talk obviously a great deal more about Man United losing their opening game at Hull, the one that you were at, and we'll talk more about Villa down there at Brighton. Spurs, blimey,
crikey, mate.
I mean, I looked at that starting lineup, and they spent big money, but they still started with Kinski, Bergvall, Richarlison, Tell, and I'm sorry, but Archie Gray as well.
Yeah.
And Brentford, they outworked them, they outmuscled them, they outjumped them, and they outclassed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I thought you're right. We're looking at Spurs obviously spending a lot of money, and that would be the major talking point. However, Brentford once again, right? I mean, they were terrific last season. I've got to say, Keith Andrews and you and I both massive fans. They were unbelievable. They got their team spot on. They get their tactics spot on. They're solid at the back. Ayer and Collins at the back. Kelleher has been a brilliant signing for them, Jeff. Another clean sheet. And I know he didn't score at the weekend, Thiago, but the season he had, if he can rattle in a few again this year, they'll be a force again. I mean, they've just got good players all throughout their team. You know, Janelt coming with a goal, Shatter. I think that was a statement result again from Brentford, I think.
Yeah, look, and it could have been many more. And Mamadou Sangare, what a signing he looked. Again,
yes.
We've always got to put the little rider in. It's only one game.
Correct.
So, but it was a brilliant start from Sangare, brilliant start for Brentford, and an absolute shocker as far as Spurs are concerned. Freddie says the penalty for Liverpool was a soft one. The challenge by McGinn at Brighton was worse and no penalty. The only thing was, Freddie, it didn't matter because you were 4-0 up against 10 men at the time, but I do agree with you as well. Right, just gone 6:15. A lot to get through this morning. Don't forget the Premier League continues tonight at Craven Cottage. West London derby, Fulham against Chelsea, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back pages and take a further look at how worried Villa fans need to be.
We're due to talk about Spurs now. O'Hara was meant to be here, Jason Cundy, but apparently he's bottled his chance to plug your show. What? If you're not watching but listening, you've put on a Jamie O'Hara mask Is that a new thing? I mean, that's quite horrific.
I don't know what it looks like. How does it look?
What do you think it looks like?
No, I can't see myself. Does it look like a horror?
Have a look at the monitor.
By the time I do that, I turn away.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it looks ghastly, and I never use that word. Yeah. Have you put it on before?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I've worn it before.
It's
so
vile.
weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. So do you want to pretend it's here?
I can pretend he's here.
Okay, let's
Shambles! Shambles!
Why is he not here? I heard he stormed out the studio again yesterday.
Last night, honestly.
Soon it's going to be more of a shock of his face.
I talk about Spurs.
Take the mask off, for God's sake. Yeah.
Honestly, when we talk...
Oh, put it back, put it back.
Put it on. I love getting into him about Spurs. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And he was saying if they buy Savinho and Mamouche, they're guaranteed top four, top two. And I'm like, come on, mate, come on. The Ange mask will come out, and it just grew legs and arms. The thing, and it just exploded.
You got many more masks?
No, yeah, we've got Benty mask.
Have you?
No, we don't. No.
Don't wear him in a bank.
Do you know what happened?
Good morning, 19 minutes past 6, Monday, August the 24th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. And now it's time for this.
The 150th anniversary test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army.
Yeah, ready for the trip of a lifetime. We're sending you and a mate down under.
We certainly are. Thanks to Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. You could be at the MCG. What a place that is, by the way. Watching England take on Australia at the 150th anniversary test match. We're talking 5-day match tickets, 7 nights hotel, an exclusive pre-match function with cricket legends, and a day trip to the Great Ocean Road with return flights and spending money included, Jeff. Not bad.
Not bad. 5-day match tickets. That's called optimism. Head to talksportwin.com right now to enter and for full T&Cs. Now, the England cricket team's in the papers for the wrong reasons once again, so it's time to look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express drink as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
And Katie Shanahan's with us. Hey, Katie.
Katie, morning.
Hello, good morning, guys. How was your weekend?
Excellent.
Lovely,
Excellent.
Lovely. And there were plenty of stories across all of the back pages this morning, filled with, Lewis Hall with his head in his hand saying, sob on the time. Dominic Szoboszlai's late penalty leaves Toon gutted on the back page of The Sun. We've also got the Late Late Show with Szoboszlai celebrating on the back page of The Telegraph. Szoboszlai spot on. Captain's 99th minute penalty rescues the Reds. You've got sob story for Eisler. But I want to start with the situation at Aston Villa, because what a mess Unai is on the back page of The Sun. Unai Emery has hinted that Ollie Watkins refused to play for Aston Villa. This story regarding already Aston Villa, Jeff, have had 10 first-team players out the door, Morgan Rogers amongst many others. But it looks like Ollie Watkins' Aston Villa future is now a major question mark. Al Hilal have had several offers rejected. Watkins is understood to want the move, and significantly, he wants to, even in the squad's Villa's 4-0 defeat at Brighton, he wasn't in that squad at all. And now, I don't know if you saw the post-match interview, he's saying, you've got to call Ollie and figure out what's going on. So Ollie Watkins could be on his way out. But I mean, Ali, what a mess this is at Aston Villa.
Oh, I mean, you feel for them. It's an absolute shambles, isn't it? You think of the players I've lost all the way. I don't know, Tielemans and Digne, Rodgers, Konsa, and now it certainly looks, guys, as if Ollie Watkins has made his mind up, and it looks as though he's going to take the buck and head over to Saudi. But I mean, that squad has been absolutely decimated, right? So I actually thought they did really well in the Super Cup final, guys, against PSG. Hemmings and Young Maggio did well, and I thought I thought there was optimistic signs for them. But having watched what happened and what unfolded at the weekend, I think the Villa fans have got to be really concerned at what's happening in front of them, and really concerned with what's happening potentially with the manager. Because surely, Katie, Jeff, at some point, Unai Emery is going to say, what's the point?
Yeah, I think you're right. The way direction of travel, how long before he wants to cash in his chips? I mean, look, from the side that won the Europa League final, 6 of the starters are either not there or weren't playing for different reasons. But for me, when I look at the heart of that defence, and I'm sorry to pick out individuals, but when I look at the heart of that defence, if you're starting games with Pau Torres and Victor Lindelof as your centre-half pairing, you're going to lose more than you win. It's just my opinion, Coisty.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. At that level, it can be very unforgiving, and we saw it particularly in the opening 30 minutes, Jeff, because they just looked absolutely all over the place, and it could have been more. I mean, Gomez just had one of those games you just want to completely forget about. But you're absolutely right. And then, in total contrast, you look at the setup from Hull. I was really interested to see the setup from Hull. They go with the 3 centre-backs and the 2 wide boys who were terrific, right? Yeah. And they're playing with centre-backs I hadn't obviously seen an awful lot of. Saw a bit of them, and I'm thinking, how are they going to handle the top flight? And they just looked supremely organised. They went about their business really well. They will have tougher afternoons against a Manchester United forward line that was really, really poor. But then getting back to the Villa back line, do you know the best way you'd put it, Jeff? It's a back line you'd fancy playing against.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, partly because one of my sons, Matt, is a big Brighton fan, I have to say Brighton's pressing, because, Villa didn't have a striker, but actually, Jorginho Ruta's not a striker. So neither really did Brighton, but Brighton made light of it. Their pressing was amazing, and De Kuyper was absolutely outstanding for them.
Hinshelwood as well, terrific, absolutely terrific.
Very, very good from Brighton. Just quickly, Ali, on Ollie Watkins, he's 30 years old. Yeah. He's had a brilliant career in the Premier League. He's got 2 years left on his contract. 15 million plus is kind of on offer, and that would be significant money. Yep. If you were him in his situation, would you go to Saudi?
Well, the easiest thing in the world for me is to say no. I'd attempt to wait a couple of years. And it's easy for me to sit here and say that, Katie, but I don't know the full details. They might have made him an unbelievable offer, and he might be thinking, well, do you know something? It might not be there in 2 years. So he has to make a decision, and it is a financial decision. That's mainly what it is. He's obviously going to be uprooting his family and taking them to a place which I don't know an awful lot about, but you just hear some stories. If you're in Bahrain, it's great. If you're not, it's not the best at all. It's a financial decision that will probably set him and generations of his family up, right? So from that point of view, I can understand it totally. Sorry, Jeff, I was just going to say, it's easy for me to sit here and say 30's too young. I think it is slightly young. In an ideal world, if you're a player like that, you don't want to go to your maybe 33, 34 if you're lucky. But then he probably thinks I can't pick and choose.
Yeah, but you know what, Coisty, as well, we talk about Unai Emery. Maybe at some stage he'll consider his future. Well, why aren't the players allowed to do that? He's seen all of his mates move, for big money. He's probably thinking to himself, what sort of season is this going to be for me? And by the way, Unai Emery has left him out of some key games as well, which I'm sure is in the back
Jeff,
of his mind.
I think you make a valid point. I think he's probably sitting there himself saying, it might be a little bit disillusioned himself with what's happening around him, with the quality that he's lost. I mean, you look at the players. I know he didn't play well at the weekend, but Tielemans and we'll see Rodgers tonight and things like that. That squad or that particular team looks as though has been ripped apart and decimated. So he's well within his rights to think, and he's got to look after himself. 100% he's got to look after himself. I'm just a little bit disappointed, Katie, because I like watching him and I like him as a centre forward. So selfishly, I'm going to lose that to a certain degree when he goes.
I just want to bring you this quickly before we go to break about this England cricket story. England cricket's drinking culture is once again under the spotlight. Story in the Times here after Bryden Castle was involved in an altercation at a nightclub that ended with him being led away in handcuffs by police. So Castle was filmed surrounded by police officers after an apparent night out in Derby. This was on Saturday evening this weekend. His Durham England teammate Matthew Potts is seen in the video trying to talk to Castle, while Ben Stokes is also in view as well. Castle is understood to have briefly been detained by police at the scene but not arrested. I mean, Jeff, whether this current England team's reputation, do you think it's going beyond the point of repair, especially with all these nightclub incidents?
Yeah, although bear in mind this was nothing to do with an England game.
No.
This is after a county game that, oh, look, I don't know. I mean, is it blown out of a proportion? Very likely. In this day and age, you know, you can't sneeze without there being a mobile phone, you know, in your face and such like.
But at the same time, the Times understands that Castle is still in the England squad for the team's second test against Pakistan on Thursday.
Well, he was released with no charges made, you know, so... Who's to say? I don't know what happened. I mean, I've just seen the social media pictures. They show absolutely nothing. Drinking culture, we don't even know if he's been drinking. I mean, he's a young man. He's been on a night out. Don't know the circumstances. I just think let's not jump to any conclusions at this stage. I might be completely wrong, but...
I'll tell you what I'm delighted with, though, Katie. I'm ecstatic there was no mobile phones knocking about in our day.
Yeah, you're dead right, Coach. Look, it's not a great look for English cricket. Of course it's not, after all of the, you know, the bad publicity that's gone on in the last, I don't know, year, 2 years, whatever else it is. But let's not hang drawn quarter him before we know all the facts.
Fabulous.
Done.
Thank you.
I love it. Quick text about Hull City here, because we talked about that, Ali. Notty the Tiger says, I think we're all slightly surprised. We were value for the win.
Okay.
2 of our central defensive rocks on the score sheet. Special mention for Louis Coyle, who we'll speak to a bit later in the show, by the way.
Yeah.
Captaining his hometown club in the Premier League and to take 3 points against Champions League opposition is a great story. 1 win won't define our season, but to prove all the doubters wrong from the office will give us an incredible feeling heading off to work this fine Monday morning. Notty, enjoy your day, mate. Enjoy your time at the office today. I'm sure you will. Katie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, Manchester United opened their campaign with a 2-0 loss to newly promoted Hull. So how many faces do they need in the door before the window shuts? And why haven't they already signed them? We'll discuss that next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express drink as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
Finished 9th. Yep. You come on talkSPORT and said that Chelsea are going to win the league. Yep. Who's the idiot?
We've got a manager that knows how to win a league.
No. Who's the idiot?
Won the Bundesliga.
I don't care. Who's the idiot?
What's the Spursy one? What's the Spursy ever won?
They finished 10th. Sorry.
10th.
Correction.
I know.
You finished 10th.
You'll take our place.
Mate, you finished 10th.
You'll take our place.
All right? And you come on talkSPORT and said that you're going to win the league.
You'll take our...
I don't think I'm an idiot in saying that Spurs can finish in the top 4 if we sign for Savinho and Marmoush.
You'll take our place.
So,
Roberto De Spursy.
There's only one mug here, and it's you.
Roberto De Spursy, he'll take 10th, mate. That's a good season for you lot. Mate, you'll take that. Jay.
Don't
100%.
Don't Jamie. Don't Jamie. Right? Don't Jamie.
Jay, 100% you take 10th. I'll give you 10th now. With 10 games to go 10th. So you've not got to sweat like you did last season. Sweating over the last couple of games. Are we going to go down? Oh, no. We go, oh, no, we've got to go down.
Mate, you finished 10th.
Yeah, I know we did.
You literally finished 10th.
But we've got a manager that knows how to win.
That's almost like you spent £1 billion on a football team.
Yeah,
and finished 10th.
Another billion.
Right, who's more embarrassing?
And we're going to win it.
Who's more embarrassing?
Do you know what we should do? We should go for Savinho and Mamouche. Then we'll definitely win it. I'll put that in the Todd.
keep.
Would you make? Don't start getting.
No.
Don't.
I really want to swear at you, but I'm not going to. Right?
Don't, Jay. Take. I'll give you. Okay, here we go. 10th. Yes or no? Yes or no? Jay. Yes. Or no? Take 10th. He's going to take 10th. He's wrong with that. You got to take 10th.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by 3 men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
Morning, 6:36. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I tell you what, Gabby and Andy Goldstein are really in demand this morning.
Yeah.
Josh, the Brighton fan, says, morning, gents. What time is Gabby on? Would love to hear his view on all things Villa after yesterday's battle. A bit later in the show is the answer. And Ian says, is it 4 o'clock yet? Hull City fans are coming for you, Andy Pal. Up the Premier League Tigers. I got a lot of messages in very similar vein. Now, for the first time since arriving in the Premier League, Erling Haaland failed to find the net on the opening day as Man City came from behind to beat Bournemouth. After the game, City boss Enzo Maresca explained why his Norwegian goal machine is still building up to speed.
Erling is still, for him, it's still pre-season. For him, from Nico Rally, from Elliot Anderson, even Margay, for them it's still pre-season because they arrived 10 days ago, so it's normal.
Yeah, I mean, look, a number of players are still building up to speed. They've been given a little bit of time. But mind you, when I look at some, Coisty, I look at like Martin Odegaard. Well, he didn't need time to build up to speed, did he?
Oh, I'll say. He's been absolutely outstanding both games. I've seen him at Community Shield, excuse me, and obviously Friday night against Coventry. He has started the season absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
But I do understand. I mean, we're not seriously having a little bit of concern here for Haaland, are we?
No.
No, because he'll seriously just start batting the ball into the back of the net because that's what he does.
Yeah.
But no, I do understand the requirement for boys that have played a lot of football, particularly and gone longer in the World Cup, to take a little bit more time to get back and to hit the ground running. So I don't have a problem with the lads, and in particular, it was great. It was really interesting I spoke to Mikel Arteta before the Community Shield, Jeff, and I was asking him how does he gauge, what his players need in terms of rest and training, when they've had a busy summer, and he was effectively saying, that they're all kind of different, to tell you the truth, and they've all, what it's like, they've all got these heart monitors on now and everything about them. He said, and he treats them all differently, but he did say that the one player that he would have to look after this season was Declan Rice.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as far as City are concerned, Enzo Maresca will have been, I think, relieved more than anything else to get that out of the way and get those 2 late goals, because they didn't play particularly well, but I think over the course of the game, just about deserved it.
Yeah.
But important from the manager's perspective to get off to a winning start, which, of course, is what Hull did, marking their return to the top flight with that brilliant win, from their perspective at least, over Manchester United, their first ever Premier League win over United. This is how it sounded live on talkSPORT.
Hull City, dormant for 9 years, are about to give Manchester United a tremor.
It's a group of the players, it's unbelievable. They everyday hard work, togetherness, chemistry between them.
Comes to McBurney, saved by the goalkeeper off the post, and it's hammered into the net, and Hull City lead on the opening day of the season.
We weren't caught by surprise for it. We just, they'd done us with 2 set plays, so we're disappointed with that, of course.
5 jerseys for Hull to aim at. It's going to be Slater to hit it in towards the near post, and it's headed in, and they've scored again. Mendy, I think, is claiming the goal. He got on the end of it from the set piece, and he powered the header past centre Lommans.
Quite fascinating football, isn't it? Nobody gave Hull a chance.
And this is a big motivation for us. We will try to prove all these people wrong. So this is our main goal in this season.
We'll soak it up and learn from it.
There's the full-time whistle. Hull City have beaten Manchester United in the Premier League for the first time in their history, and they've done it on the opening weekend of the season.
Yeah, written off by one and all, but Hull were quite brilliant on the day against Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes said afterwards that United have failed to learn from the mistakes of last season. Let's get more on this by bringing in talkSPORT reporter, United fan, co-host of Inside Devils, Angelina Kelly. Morning, Angelina.
Morning, Angelina.
Good morning.
How worrying was that performance?
You know what? It was humbling, wasn't it? I think that Manchester United fans came into this new campaign off the back of taking points off the biggest teams last season. Towards the end, was feeling confident, brought back down to earth. But I agree with you, Jeff. I think that Hull City were brilliant. They deserved the win. They outran United. The fact that 3 players went down with injury in the second half, it just shows how hard that they were working. They played the occasion. Whereas with Manchester United, very concerning. I think we all know about the defensive issues. To concede 2 goals from set pieces in one game is a massive organisation issue. And like you just touched on with Bruno Fernandes, kind of saying that, you know, this is an area that they've got to work on. You know, Hull scored 9 league goals from set plays last season, the joint fewest in the Championship. Coventry scored like 29. So the fact that they got one over on United, yeah, really, really embarrassing.
Angelina, I thought I must admit, sometimes you get a free kick against you, it's very, very difficult to defend against. I thought the quality of the 2 set plays was magical, but I don't think United defended too well. But I tell you what, I wasn't too impressed in forward areas, Angelina. I mean, I mentioned particularly in the first half, they didn't have a focal point in the centre of the attack. I mean, Cunha was dropping deep, sometimes deeper than Fernandes and Buemo, Dorgut in the left. They looked, if not devoid of ideas, certainly short of ideas. They made the changes at half time. It was only a matter of time, I felt, before we saw Rashford. Said Rashford would come on, Šeško come on. But even with those 2 coming on, I mean, there was a ball in the box. I think maybe Šeško could have done better. But I think it might not have been their first attempt, but certainly one of their first attempts was when Harry Maguire get put through the middle. I mean, that is all very well having that option, Angelina, but you know you're struggling if you're throwing Harry Maguire through the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Almost when you see Harry Maguire in those areas, it causes you even more concern. I mean, like we say, defensively issues, yeah, even in midfield, it's a new look. Maybe you give them a little bit of time with that situation. Tielemans and Santos, for example, are still new. But yeah, the biggest red flag for me was the attack. And Buemo, Cunha and Bruno Fernandes, they all know each other well by now. And no matter what positions they're playing in, it looked like they just met at times. You know, United do struggle with low blocks, and I think needed Šeško to help break that down. He's not at 100%. And this is the problem with Manchester United, that you could probably say that they needed backup in pretty much every area. It would have been great to have had another striker. I'm a big fan of Danny Welbeck. I think it would have been great had United been able to have got him. Having him as an option over the weekend, I think would have been brilliant. And yeah, Marcus Rashford, I think that he should be favoured over Patrick Dorgu. I think that he looked a little bit brighter. But yeah, I think that it's definitely a concern that area, you would say on paper, is United's strongest, the attacking positions. And yeah, they did not look good at all.
Obviously, it's a big season for Michael Carrick as well, permanently in charge now. He was reluctant afterwards to admit, wasn't he, that there was a lack of intensity in United's play, but I think it was obvious to everyone that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, you understand him trying to be quite measured, especially after Ruben Amorim and some of the things that he would come out with. But when we can all see something, you know, you almost just want him to be a little bit more honest. But then it can open a can of worms, etc. And you think about some of the other things that have been said. You know, Youri Tielemans spoke before the season, I think quite innocently, about maybe not doing a lot of running in pre-season. That's now being picked apart. People are now looking at that. You know, Bruno Fernandes speaking about the set pieces. We're all looking at that now. So I understand why he's trying to be a little bit measured. You know, you can't hit the panic button just yet. Still only one game. But I think, if anything, this just proved that the powers that be need to be investing more. With Manchester United, it seems every time that they get into the Champions League, they do kind of sit back a little bit. Fair enough, it looks like 3 midfield options are going to be coming in total, but you look at that squad and you think, are they going to be equipped to be firing on all cylinders in 4 competitions? I'm not too sure.
Angelina, thank you so much.
Thanks, Angelina.
Thank you.
talkSPORT reporter, United fan, co-host of Inside Devils, Angelina Kelly, with us there. Everyone wants to have their say about their team this weekend. Just a quick word on the Championship. And in Lichfield says, quick nod to the job James Morrison's doing at West Brom. 1 league defeat since February. Some shrewd young signings in the summer. We rode our luck against Norwich last week, but were more than good value for the win against Burnley. It's great to finally look forward to watching my team again.
Went 1-0 down as well, didn't they?
They did. Had a brilliant win. I mean, the weekend, you know, and as Ant said, you know, fully deserving of it. Was a bit of a worrying performance from Burnley, though. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Former Liverpool star Michael Owen will be with us at around 8:30 to tell us whether Alexander Isak will come good this season. Plus, fresh after that historic win over Man United, the Hull captain Louis Coyle will join us to look back at an unbelievable opening weekend for the Tigers. And in response to public demand, we'll be talking to Gabby Agbonlahor a bit later in the show as well. That was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
So this summer has gone from bad to worse for Villa. Unai Emery, Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans already gone, of course. And now it looks like Konza, that's the big one, is on his way to the Arsenal. Now let's bring in another Gabby, who must be delighted. Gabby the Gunner, who has called us in 03717 22 3344. Gabby, a very good morning.
Dry your eyes, Gab. I know it's hard to take, but Concer's made his mind up. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, Gab. I know you want to make Concer see how much his pain hurts, but you've got to walk away now. It's over. Sorry, Gab. And Alan, welcome back, sir.
Thanks,
I'm
mate.
so pleased you've got a fit bill of health.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm good, Gabby. Thank you very much, mate. I was missing this, so I'm back.
Missing you.
He's not missed you, mate.
Missing you, Alan.
He ain't missed you, Gabby.
Oh, he always misses me. It's you he doesn't miss, Gab.
Well,
Come on,
but
bruv.
can I ask you a
We're both
question,
Gab in
though?
Essex.
You
Go
know,
on, mate.
spending what you spent again this summer, is the minimum Champions League and Premier League for Arsenal?
Oh, Gab, listen, you've got to always he'd make a great
asking you.
politician, wouldn't he, Alan? He really would make
I'm
a
asking
great
you.
politician.
Are you closer to winning the Champions League with these signings?
I still think we're short of one exceptional striker. I think Osimhen, Alvarez, that's kind of the missing link. It could be enough with Solis and with the guys we've got.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me 6:50 on Monday, August the 24th. Bruce in Exmouth says, Ali could get a game for United at present. We need a striker. Thiago would be a good choice. Shaw looked overweight, so a left-back urgently required. We need De Ligt back as soon as possible. Another right-back and centre-back. What a mess.
I know.
It's bearing out what I said. The club are not backing the manager. have plenty of time to do so, haven't they? By the way, Steve in Liverpool says, morning, lads. Everton won at the weekend as well, by the way. And we'll talk about that a bit later, Steve.
Yeah.
Time now, though, to take a look at the latest EFL action in partnership with Sage.
EFLers on talkSPORT with Sage, official accounting software partner of the EFL, supporting the businesses behind the badge.
How can you not love the EFL when it throws up moments like this?
At the other end, it's turned back for Watford, and Deeney scores! A pitch invasion!
Oh, it's come back to Zamora!
We're in London. Hey, we're in London, aren't we?
Leeds can beat you 4-1. They're a fantastic team. But we had someone in the bushes that day twice this season now.
No sirve para nada. I didn't know we'd have such a reaction.
Southampton banished from playing in the playoff final.
He rips his shirt off the front, away in celebration.
That ghost didn't head one in on Saturday. We didn't defend properly, you great chicken nugget.
You just never know which twist any game is going to turn next.
Must I forever?
Yeah, every Monday morning I'll be handing out a selection of awards, depending on what unfolds below the Premier League. So first up this week, it's time for Performance of the Weekend.
The away fans are dancing with delight in celebration. West Ham United 1, Charlton Athletic 2.
Yeah, Charlton's first win at West Ham in 24 years. A Lloyd Jones overhead kick and a lovely finish from Tyrese Campbell. Absolutely brilliant for them. By the way, honourable mentions to Millwall thumping Norwich, Pompey bouncing back at Lincoln, and Bristol Rovers behind in 13 seconds at home to Newport, but winning 5-3. But what a win that is for Charlton, and great credit to Nathan Jones as well. They've made a fantastic start. West Ham, goodness me, the defending for both goals, especially Mavropanos for the second one. And Coisty, explain to me, while Jared Bowen is on the pitch, why is Tati Castellanos allowed to take the penalty?
I'm staggered at that. Do you know something? I know it's your piece for the EFL. That's one of the questions I've got. That was the first question I've got for you. Surely Bowen takes that penalty. And it's not with hindsight. Well, it's easy with hindsight. But you think to yourself, really important penalty, get yourself a draw. I couldn't understand it. There must be a reason for it, surely.
I fail to understand it. Joel Pirro was on the pitch as well, who's already scored a goal.
Scored his goal.
You know, but Castellanos obviously hit the post with the penalty. But fantastic for Charlton. West Ham taking time to adjust. Charlton, by the way, big week, isn't it? Because they're away to Spurs in the League Cup during the course of this week as well. So absolutely brilliant for them. Moving on now to the shocker of the weekend.
Ruin it for ourselves and for everyone by starting the game the way we did. So the first 25 minutes has totally dictated the afternoon, really. Concede two really poor goals. We can't give teams a head start. And then we have a red card.
It's the Leicester City manager, Russell Martin. I mean, it could have been Salford again this week, by the way, who lost at home to Chesterfield.
Saw that.
But for me, Leicester losing at home to Burton Albion. Goodness me, Leicester, of course, favourites to be promoted from League One. Burton Albion, pretty much favourites to be relegated. You know, but they were 2-0 up early on. Then Ollie Skip got sent off for Leicester inside the first half hour.
Yeah.
But they were booed off when he heard Russell Martin there say, unacceptable to start the game that way. 1 point from their first two games. And, I mean, this is a side that were in the Premier League, you know, just a couple of seasons ago, Coisty.
Jeff, a decline in it is absolutely incredible. First thing you got to say, what a brilliant result for Gary Boyer's side. Tremendous result that is away from home at Leicester. But again, you look at clubs sometimes when they go on that slippery slope, Jeff, and they just keep going down it, and Leicester look as though they're on it at this moment in time. I mean, they had an opening draw, wasn't it? A 1-1 draw, the opening game.
Against Notts County, yeah.
That's correct, yeah. But that is and I know they get Oliver Skip sent off, right, as you say, right on the half-hour mark, but that's a shocker of result, and things have to turn very, very quickly, I would imagine, for Russell Martin.
Yeah. And now this is the point I was going to do goal of the weekend, but never mind goal of the weekend. This is goal of the season.
Oh, and flick goalwards, brilliant! What a way to get your first Bristol City goal, Don Ballard!
You seen it, Coisty?
No, but I'm going to tell you, at Birmingham.
Man, it was, This is 85 minutes on the clock. Don Ballard, ex-Leyton Orient. He came on as a sub for Bristol City. He got a lot of goals for Leyton Orient, in fairness. He came on as a sub for Bristol City. He scored with, how would we describe it? It's It's a back heel volley from 10, 12 yards out. Was totally intentional as well. I mean, I think everybody, including the defence, was startled. It was just brilliant ingenuity. I mean, I know it's ridiculous in August to say goal of the season, but I think that's goal of the season already.
Jeff, I've just watched it. It flies into the top corner.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And totally intentional.
Oh,
you know?
he means it.
He didn't just stick his
now,
foot out there.
Don't you worry about that. The ball comes in. He knows exactly what he's doing, mate. Exactly what he's doing. And it flies into the goalie's top right-hand corner. What a goal.
It was brilliant. By the way, that commentary was courtesy of Robbins TV. Well done to Don Ballard. Honourable mention, by the way, of Cal Robertson, Notts County of Luton. He's got a cracking goal. A lot of good goals at the weekend. Forgive me if I haven't mentioned the ones that your team scored. But we got to move on to moment of the weekend. And it's a memorable moment as far as Crewe are concerned, and a very forgettable moment for the Northampton Town goalkeeper, Zach Geacock. This is what happened at Vale Park, at Crewe.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'll tell you what happened at Crewe. So, you might have seen this one, Kostia, I don't know.
I did see it, mate.
Crewe's Josh March. His momentum has taken him off the pitch in a Crewe attack. The ball is in the goalkeeper's hands. Josh March stands by the side of the goal, effectively, very quietly. Zach Geacock, the Northampton keeper, he drops the ball to his feet, ready to clear it. At which point, re-enter Josh March. Comes in, nicks the ball and rolls it into the empty net. The poor old goalkeeper, absolutely, totally unaware that March is about to come from behind him and his side to nick the ball and roll it into the goal. But apparently, completely legal.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because one of the former refs up here, who I follow and I listen to, a boy called Bobby Madden. Bobby's a great lad. He described it because, Jeff, I think it's, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Bobby said what happened was, as long as your natural momentum takes you off the pitch, you're not committing an offence. But you can't go off the pitch and then come back on, or it's a yellow card.
Yeah.
But so therefore, if his natural momentum, which it was, took him off the pitch, he's well within his rights to hang about and then come back at his leisure. And unfortunately for the goalkeeper, come up. It was like something at the pantomime. You're expecting the crowd to go, he's behind you.
Yeah.
But there you go. But what a goal it was. Ingenuity, brilliant.
It was. Yeah, it was. I mean, ingenuity, sneaky.
Yeah.
It depends which side you're looking at it from.
Well, I'm looking at it from a forwards point of view, obviously, haven't I?
So that was our EFLers. That was thanks to Sage. And by the way, a lot of messages. Just quickly, James says, quick shout out to Brian Barry Murphy, the job he's doing at Cardiff. Unbeaten start. Playing good football, made us good to watch again. And another one here saying, no mention for Tony Mowbray. Blackburn, back at Blackburn.
Great
4
result.
points now against Wolves and Borough. Yeah, tough start on paper. But they've started absolutely brilliantly, haven't they? Coming up, we bring you more on that cracker between Newcastle and Liverpool and ask the question, do Liverpool need more from their big money signings? That's next.
EFLers on talkSPORT with Sage, official accounting software partner of the EFL, supporting the businesses behind the badge.
And 2 weeks today, the transfer window closes. Would you anticipate much more business in terms of incomings between now and then?
Well, you can see the league, how unpredictable the league is and the amount of things that can happen on a day. So it's better not to talk too much, be prepared, be open, and hopefully we can wrap up the transfer window in a really positive way.
You were speaking before the Community Shield. You were asked about your long-term future and contract negotiations, and you said there's nothing to worry about, Arsenal fans. Do you see yourself as somebody who can do what the likes of Guardiola and Wenger and Ferguson did and stay at the club for many years and build a dynasty?
I want to do what I'm capable of doing and what is the best for the club. And I feel very, very happy and grateful to be sitting where I am with the people that I work with every single day. And my ambition is to continue this way.
Was it strange at Cardiff on Sunday that you weren't facing Pep Guardiola in the dugout, given that rivalry that's developed and obviously your relationship with him?
It was different. Obviously, I know Enzo really well, but obviously the relationship that I built with Pep when we worked with each other, and then the amount of headaches and sweats that he has provided to me over the last years to try to catch up to the level and the standards that they set in the league has been an absolute inspiration. I think he's left a benchmark and a mark in this league that it will be history forever, and he made us, I think, all of us better.
Have you had many conversations with him since the end of the season, since you were crowned champions?
I had, and I have due to have an important as well in the next few days, and I'm looking forward to it.
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? Well, the Super Bowl halftime show does exactly that. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest ever in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first edition of the Super Bowl was held in 1967, when the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Los Angeles. Because of the sheer size of the event, organisers wanted to put on entertainment at halftime for the fans in the stadium. It was a display of marching bands, dancers and pure USA patriotism, and that was the theme that followed for years. In the 1980s, the Walt Disney Company got involved and we started seeing some interesting, questionable displays. But we got our first glimpse of halftime shows to come in '93, when none other than Michael Jackson stunned fans with his 15-minute medley of his own smash hits. When he walked out on stage, he had to wait for the crowd's cheers to die down for about 2 minutes before even starting his first song. Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan, Phil Collins all starred in their own shows, as did Aerosmith, who performed alongside NSYNC. Things got a little bit out of hand in 2004 when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson produced perhaps the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction in history. Shows from the likes of Prince, Lady Gaga and Beyoncé are considered by critics as the best. To give you an idea of the scale of things, Rihanna's 2023 halftime show included roughly 800 people. These ranged from backing dancers to stage crew to camera operatives broadcasting to millions around the world. The whole stage for that show was built in roughly 8 minutes and was broken down and cleared away in the same time. The acts perform for free nowadays, even though the experts reckon it costs around $13 million to put on Rihanna's show. Artists know they'll rocket up the charts in the following weeks. Rihanna's average sales improved by 140% in the months following her performance. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Morning, 7:05, Monday, August the 24th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and Arnold Clark's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. On the way for you this morning, we'll be joined live in the studio by this man.
Owen! Oh, this is getting better and better and better. 1, 2, 3 for Michael Owen. England lead 4-1 in Germany.
Yeah, Michael Owen will be with us at 8:30 to focus mainly on Liverpool. He'll also be talking, by the way, about a forthcoming TV series, Meet the Owens. So that follows on from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the Vardys, the Rooneys. I'll tell you what, Coisty, Meet the McCoists. That just rolls off the tongue. Have you contemplated it?
I'd like to meet them myself, to be quite honest. Given the opportunity, I'd like to meet them myself. You've missed the best one of a lot, the Osborns. That was where it started, wasn't it, Ozzy? Remember the family?
Fantastic. Anyway, Michael will be with us at around 8:30 this morning. And we'll also find out what the rest of the weekend looked like for Hull City following a fantastic opening day victory over Man United. The Hull captain, Louis Coyle, will be with us at around 9:30.
He was terrific at the weekend, so
yeah. His first ever Premier League appearance. What a way to start, eh?
Brilliant he was.
Yeah. And now, though, Andoni Areola was saved right at the end, courtesy of an inch-perfect Dominic Szoboszlai penalty away to Newcastle. So he picks up a point in his first game as the Liverpool manager. After the game, Areola admitted there's plenty of work to do.
Definitely we are not 100%, but no one is 100% right now. No, Newcastle is not 100%. A lot of the teams, especially the ones that have changed managers, are not 100%, and we need to continue evolving, developing, and it's not going to be next week or next one. No, it's going to be it will take time, but we still have to get results. And I think today I've liked a lot of things that make me positive also.
By the way, Coisty, some cool penalty, wasn't it?
Oh, by the way, it was different class. I mean, there's no keeper on the earth saving that. You think the timing of the penalty, he needs to score it, and he just whipped it back across him in that top corner. Thought it was an excellent finish.
Yeah, it was indeed. Look, let's bring in the Telegraph's Merseyside correspondent, Dom King. Morning to you, Dom.
Morning, Dom. How are you, mate?
Very well. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Happy new season.
Yeah, you too, mate. Yeah, Andoni Areola's saying that there's certainly room for improvement and plenty to be worked on. What would have worried him most about that performance?
Well, it's not a case of where do you start, but how open they were. My word, it was like 4 at the back, 6 up front. Let's see what happens in the middle of the midfield. Can you track back? They'd never see. It was like watching them at times last season. There was lots of moments in the game where it felt like nothing much had changed from last season. But equally, how open they were, how easy it was to attack on them. I mean, Newcastle's 2 goals were just 2 balls straight through the middle, and that was happening an awful lot last season. Now, obviously, the manager he's a smart guy. He's going to have seen this. He addressed the matter after the game very eloquently, and you would hope he will be taking steps to correct it this week.
See, looking at it, Dom, it's strange looking at it because you look at that team, the Liverpool. It's a bit like last season for me. I must admit, I heard Alan Pardew, and I tend to agree with what he's saying. There's a lot of similarities to last season. They look as though they've got excellent players, but at this moment in time, they don't have an excellent team.
That's a really good way of putting it. And the thing you say about those excellent players, though, some of them just aren't showing that they're excellent players. Everyone, I've seen a tweet this morning from Matt Hummels talking about Florian Wirtz ending up with 25 assists this season. He'd be lucky if he's getting 25 games at the minute. If this is the form, I was disappointed with him yesterday. I was expecting a lot from him, and it's just not happening at the minute. Alexander Isak was I don't know whether it was the occasion got to him. I don't know whether he's still not quite ready fitness-wise. I'm still not sure whether Liverpool know how to get the best out of him. But he was on the periphery too much. Szoboszlai's penalty was absolutely incredible under the pressure. But the sum of the parts just isn't working up to what it should be.
Yeah, completely agree. When your 2 sort of, flagship signings, Isak and Wirtz, disappoint pretty much week in and week out. And look, looking at the Liverpool bench, Dom, it's not exactly creaking with quality, is it? So how significantly do you expect them to dip into the transfer market this week?
Well, I think, Jeff, they have to do it with a matter of urgency. They're still in discussions for Yankuba Minter from Brighton. We all know about the pursuit of Bradley Barcola, and that has been the one that they've been on all summer. He would be the crown jewel for the summer. But it's strange that they've got to this point in the window, and it's still so short. There's still players who aren't ready, and even Minter. I mean, you can see Minter's got talent. He's a player that they've looked at not just this summer. It goes back historic. Arneslot had him at Feyenoord. He knew all about his quality. The recruitment team have known all about him, but he's not going to be fit until October at the earliest. And the momentum that he will have missed. Liverpool need a difference maker now. I mean, Rio Ngoma is a player of great potential, but he's still only a boy. He's not 18 until next month. Mm-hmm. And he's playing on the right wing isn't necessarily going to suit him at the moment. They need to address this as a matter of urgency. As I said, we spoke to Virgil van Dijk after the game last night. We discussed this with him, the subject of player recruitment, and he was basically saying it's up to the club to, you've got to put your trust in the club to make sure it's okay, and trust them to get the right business, but they've got to get the skates on.
Tom, what about the Toffees? Good start. I watched the highlights of it. They looked as though they rode the luck a wee bit in terms of keeping a clean sheet, but a brilliant strike from Dewsbury Hall and a good header from Barry. Great start for them.
Do you know what, Ali? There was spoke to David after the game about it. The thing that was so encouraging was there was 6 or 7 players, maybe even 8, who you could say all made a difference to the performance. Yeah. It was. Yes, the complexion of the game would have been a little bit different had Palace taken the lead. But this is why Jordan Pickford continues to be such an important figure. Why he's debated the way he is for England, I will never know. It's one of life's anomalies, but he's in his 10th season at Everton. My God, he's been absolutely incredible for them. The save has provided the foundation for that performance, and Kieran Dewsbury Hall hasn't put a foot wrong since he joined Everton last year, 12 months. And you know what? Hayden Hackney, his debut, didn't get any headlines, but he's the type of signing that David Moyes makes, who he excels with, and he was going to get better and better and better. Yeah. I thought it was a really good performance, and it's just it was just needed at the right time. And let's see what they do at Preston in midweek, because that's a very, very important game.
Yeah. I mean, look, to me, they got more energy and legs that you'd have associated with Everton sides in recent years. Hackney and Harrison Armstrong, Tariq George, Iliman Ndiaye, Dewsbury Hall. A lot of energy in that team. So great start.
Absolutely, Jeff, and can I mention Merlin Roll as well, playing at right back, thrown into a new position. But when David signed him 12 months ago, he was absolutely adamant that he was going to be a player that was going to flourish. He had his difficulties with a few injuries, but David was adamant last year that when they got him on loan, the deal was going to be done permanently. There was no doubt about that, and he's going to get better and better and better. He had an excellent game.
Dom, did you make up at York last week?
No, I was watching from afar. Ali, but I'll be back on a course one day soon. What about Sun Goddess? Have you ever seen a horse like that?
Magic, wasn't it? What was I? Yeah. I thought it's one of the best meetings. I really enjoyed it, mate. Same as you, I watched it on the telly.
Yeah, Andrew Balding, has he got a chance of winning the champion trainer before the end of the season? What a year he's having.
Dom, thanks very much, mate.
Good to see you, mate. All the best.
Pleasure. All the best, gents. See you soon.
Telegraph's Merseyside correspondent Dom King. Dean's just texted, nothing's changed at Liverpool. They're completely open in the middle. The counter-attacks. Yet they still look to spend huge on wingers. As an Evertonian, I'm loving it. Long may it last, he says. By the way, we touched on Everton. A little bit later, we'll touch on Crystal Palace, who have, it wasn't all bad news, but the result was, and of course, issues over Mateta and Sarr. as well. There are big problems as far as Palace are concerned. You can listen, by the way, to Andoni Iraola's first home game as Liverpool manager this Saturday lunchtime. Forest head to Anfield. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Up next, we'll turn our attention to the transfer window and whether Manchester United have found the answers to their problems.
Spurs fans will be on salty crook. You're still bitter from the Europa League final. I just think they've overspent Tottenham. I think they've gone a bit mad in the market.
Talking of which, hello, Kate.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Kate.
Oh, we've missed you, Kate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good to speak to you, Sam.
Nice to speak to you.
What about me and Crookie, Kate?
Oh, Gabby, it's not fair. Nothing's fair. It's not fair.
That's a good accent, that is.
I have never heard in all my years of being a Tottenham fan such salty, crying, pathetic whining from Villa fans as I have at this moment. Your owners, Gabby, have got the opportunity to do what Tottenham have done. Why not build a big stadium? You've got, I think, as far as I know, you've got a piece of kind of parkland near Villa Park.
I like the heritage that Villa Park has got, to be honest.
Well, you can't have your
Well,
cake
then
and
you're
eat
never
it.
going to be a big club. You can't have it all, Gabby.
I think Villa are a bigger club than Spurs. Come on, let's not get silly now.
I'm just laughing at you. You're so funny. We finished 17th and we made 187 million more revenue overall than you in 24-25.
That's because Beyonce loves to come to the Spurs Stadium for gigs.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how you make the money. It's about making the money.
I love Beyonce to come to Villa Park.
Aston Villa, by the way, did a load of concerts to try and raise revenue themselves. They did that, actually, over the course of the last couple of years, which is great for them.
I agree.
But they do need to invest in the infrastructure around Villa
course.
Park, which is going to take time. Do you have to just understand that that is going to be the case?
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Leah's text says, "Morning, guys. There are no issues at Palace. We will and are fine. We will be and are fine. Mateta has been throwing his toys out of the pram for months now. If he's that desperate to go, then he can pay up his contract and go. Look, I mean, sorry, Lee, there are issues at Palace, and Mateta is one of them, and Sarr is talking to Galatasaray at the moment, and you've already lost Max Lacroix on the back of all the other players, and you have a different manager in place. Like it or not, and I hope Palace are going to be okay, and I think they will be. But there are issues. Yeah. No question about that. And a few people, including Dan from Camberley, have texted in about the amount of time added at the end of the Newcastle-Liverpool game when there were meant to be a minimum of 5 minutes added time. Well, the reason for that, guys, look, normally I would stick up for the North East clubs, and I thought Newcastle, nobody would have complained if they'd have won that game. But when that penalty was awarded, it was 95 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock. And, of course, the 5 added minutes, well, during that 5 added minutes, Newcastle United made a substitution.
Minimum, and of course that's
additional 30 seconds. Yeah. And that was why it was in the time constraints, if you like, of the game. OK, it's time for our next coffee break.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express drink as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
And Katie Shanahan is back with us.
Katie.
That's the obvious question, is why are we playing that?
Well, very someone good. Who isn't whipping their hair back and forth is Erling Haaland, as he's had a new trim. Ali, you a fan of the new trim?
Yes.
You
yes,
are?
is the answer to it. In fact, it was a topic of discussion at dinner last night in the household. Viv's given it a thumbs up. The boys have given it a thumbs up. And we're looking forward to seeing a new look Haaland battering another 30 this season.
Well, I'm probably giving it the thumbs down, as are a few women in the office as well.
No.
I think I quite liked the blonde long locks.
Look, it's going to make him more aerodynamic, isn't it? Well, that sort of hair.
That's why he's done it,
He's going to be even more difficult to handle than usual. He looks much better with it.
I'm contemplating going for it myself, Jeff.
Well, talking of that, we've done some digging this morning. If you're watching on YouTube or on your Samsung TV Plus, here are some of Ali's shocking trims from over the years. We enjoyed doing this very much. Jeff, what do you make of these?
Oh, my
God. It's
okay.
That's okay. That's okay. A sort of teddy boy look, isn't it? That? Goodness me.
What do you mean, goodness me, Jeff?
Well, I like this one, Ali.
Oh, there's a lot going on there. That's like I look like a cross between young Einstein and Edward Scissorhands here.
That's very stylish.
This is very nice, this one. Just describe it for us, Ali.
Well, it's a kind of swept back. That's a kind of teddy boy look as well in the 1950s, yeah. Yeah, it's beginning to go grey there. This is the point that all changes, Jeff. Goes downhill dramatically. There it is.
I tell you what, there's nothing worse than looking at old photos. Nothing worse. Oh my God! I mean, that is a very severe look. I have never seen you look like that in your life.
Ali, did it give you, when you had a new trim, did you feel like it gave you a boost in front of goal?
Do you know something, Katie? You've let me away with murder there, because you could have showed some howlers. I mean, I think late 80s, Jeff, I had a perm at one stage, right? I had the mullet, the old Chris Waddle mullet as well going on. I even had it dyed blonde, I had it peroxide blonde at one stage. I've got away with murder there with you, Katie, I need to tell you. And in answer to your question, no, none of my haircuts did anything for me, on or off the pitch.
Can I just briefly make sure we talk about timings very quickly? DH Recycle says, no way, mate, absolutely no way. This is a Newcastle added time. The second half had a maximum stop time of 2 minutes 22 seconds. DH Recycle, how do you watch your football?
Well, Jeff, it is your turn now for trims. Here are some of Jeff's trims from over the years.
God.
Oh, here we go.
Which also look very similar. Jeff, do you want to talk through these?
That's very
I'm loving
suave,
that side shed. I'm not sure about the jumper, but I'm giving you... Oh, here, yeah, that's different class, that.
Yeah, and look how dark it was then as well, Coisty.
Oh, yeah. There it is, there, the housewife's choice.
That's the Erling Haaland look.
A pink wig for us there. And then I think finally we're going here.
Ah, there you are. A bit of class.
Very classy.
Yeah,
Very classy.
bit of class and a bit of product in to make it darker.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, my God.
There you go. You're not dying that by any chance there, Jeff, are you?
Well, I wasn't there because I was young then, but I might have been then.
Jeff, would you ever get a Harlan trim?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm proud that I've still got my hair at my age, so I'm not going to have it cut off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was a look at trims for a bit of fun.
But you know what's going to happen, Katie? If he doesn't score the next couple of weeks, all the old Samson lines will be coming in about he's lost his strength and he's lost his power, the old haircut. You know, it's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking of using one of those this morning, Coist. You've just ruined it for me.
Right, now it's time for a bit of transfer Tinder.
Stick a load of singles in there and then they fall in love.
Of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
A 36-year-old, you'll have the knockers, you will.
Just because it's offering its teat, do I really have to muscle on that?
Is there anything in your personal life that could be causing you stress, sir?
I'm not a great lover.
Hello. Oh. What's your name?
Sarah Louise.
Sarah Louise. Fuck, you're up for it, aren't you?
I was in love at the time. That's what I was doing.
At the time.
Well, love is officially in the air at Old Trafford. talkSPORT understands that Manchester United have swiped right on Carlos Baleba with a massive £70 million deal now agreed with Brighton. United didn't just slide into his DMs, they bought the ring and locked in the ultimate match. Carlos Baleba to Manchester United, swipe right or left for this one, Jeff?
2 seasons ago, I'd have swiped right. Last season, I'd have swiped left because he had a pretty miserable season. And people say his head was turned by Manchester United's interest. Yeah, I get that. But can he get back to that sort of form? I'm going to swipe left.
Okay, Ali?
I'm going to swipe right due to the fact that I know it's early days with Santos and Tielemans, but they need a better quality of player in there, and I think he'll do that. I take Jeff's point. Disappointing to a certain degree, but I think he can improve United. I think he will.
Okay, on to the next one. Unai Emery is back on the market for a centre-back after Ezri Konsa left for Arsenal. Saints star Taylor Harwood-Bellis has caught Villa's eye, and talkSPORT understands that Villa are hoping to spark a fast romance, giving the young defender the big club move he's been dreaming of. So swipe left or right for Taylor Harwood-Bellis to Aston Villa. Jeff?
Ezri Konsa leaving, Taylor Harwood-Bellis coming in. Is that a downgrade? With all apologies to Taylor Harwood-Bellis, of course it is. You know, he's unproven in the Premier League. He's won one England cap a couple of years ago, but no, for me it's definitely. Which one am I swiping?
Left or right?
Yeah, but right for what? Right, swipe left.
Left.
Yeah, swipe left.
Ali?
In normal circumstances, left, but they just need players, and they need. And I know you don't want to start panic buying, but the amount of the exodus from Aston Villa has been remarkable and scary at the same time. They need players. They need players in quickly, and for that reason, it's all right.
You've got a match.
It's a match. That's Transfer Tinder for you.
Brilliant, Katie. Thank you very much
Katie.
indeed.
Thank you very much, guys.
And that was all thanks to Costa Express. A couple of people have texted in, you know, who are listening on their radios as opposed to watching on their smart TVs. Saying, fabulous radio, look at those haircuts. Well, you don't know what you were missing, guys. You really don't. Last word, Kenny says, hi, Jeff. Thoughts on Pool's 2-1 defeat to Sutton this weekend? Kenny, I got a lot of them, but none of them are suitable for radio. Coming up, Spurs were officially back this weekend with a 3-0 defeat at Brentford. We'll bring you more on that next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express drink as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, all right, boys, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. Good to have you on. What do you want to say?
I just want to say this stinky Arsenal chat from you boys this morning is nothing short of comical.
Go on.
Gabby saying that Arsenal should be winning the league with our spending. Well, both of you. You know, recruitment's a big part of it. Look at the likes of City. Well, not City, but likes of Chelsea, United. They've spent loads of money. It's not a given that you're going to win the league. I think we've proven, you know, the culture Arteta's built alongside getting the right recruitment, bringing Berta in. You know, it's impressive.
Yeah.
So you don't think the money that you spent, you should be winning the Premier League?
I don't think it's got anything to do with the money. I think it's got to do with the quality.
You know what?
I think the quality of your squad is so good that you should be winning the league.
It's cost a lot of money.
Definitely.
I agree. And that says more about the recruitment than just pure spending. Obviously, pure spending comes into it, but it doesn't mean that it's a given that we're going to win the league. Or I think we will win the league, but it isn't just as simple as saying we should be winning it. Arteta's not that good of a manager because of the spending.
Who said that?
Disagree with that. Well, that's what the sort of the signs I was getting from Gabby before. It was sort of like he should be winning the league.
No, when I'm saying you should win in the league, have you spent wisely? Yes, you have. Have you spent on players that have become fantastic players? Yes, you have. But you can't look at Arsenal's net spend over the last 6 years is nearly 800 million. You can't look at that and say, well, you know, we shouldn't be winning the Premier League.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by 3 men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
Very good morning to you. It is 7:35. It's Monday, August the 24th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Donald Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Now, Spurs got their campaign off to, well, a totally abysmal start when they were beaten 3-0 at the G-Tech against Brentford on Saturday evening. Let's be honest, it could have been significantly more. And of course, Jason Cundy was having a field day on the full-time phone-in.
pumped.
The goal at the GT. Over the gap.
Mate, you are getting pumped. You are, mate.
12 minutes in, we're getting pumped.
You're Spurs, aren't you?
No, don't be giving. I don't want to be hearing the violin.
13 minutes into the season, you get the violin.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What is going on? This is a joke.
It's unbelievable. Stop.
We go at the GT. 3-0 down against Brentford. What on earth is going on? We spent 300 million quid.
Chauncey.
Mikey Moore. Stop. Put it in the net, Mikey Moore. It's attacking.
Mikey Moore.
Get me off air now. Shocking team selection. Shocking performances all over the park. Miles off it. And it's just same old guff. New season, same old crap.
You're going down.
Yeah, Spurs summer spending expected to exceed 300 million this window. But Bergvall, Richarlison, Tell, Kinski, they all still started. And on the Premier League All Access pod, Troy Deeney questioned why 20-year-old Archie Gray was named as Spurs captain and made to face the media in the wake of that defeat to Brentford.
He was named as captain. Now, he's 20 years of age. Do you think it's a little bit weird that he has to come out and be the one that has to defend the football club after that?
Yeah, massively. But I also think there's another side to the coin. Andy Robertson, been a captain at Liverpool and Scotland, come in to have leadership and show you what does that say to him? That we don't trust you, that what you've done at other clubs, we don't actually really want here because that might call on all of the flaws that we actually have. Tonali's been a captain as well. There's other people that could be captains. You've gone out and bought 2 centre-halves. Why not put them in? Also, by the way, it's just so unfair to a kid, literally a kid, when this is in a mess, to go on, be the vocal point, go and speak for us, go and tell everybody what it is, what's the message. He's never been in that situation before.
Well, let's just carry on with that for a moment, Coisty, because I think Troy Deeney's got some very fair points there. Why is Senesi, for example, not captain, or Andy Robertson?
Well, the answer is I don't know, but it is strange because you'd have thought Robbo would have been an automatic choice, you know, in terms of a fresh start, just come to the club, unbelievable experience at that club and international level, has captained numerous teams on numerous occasions. That was the one that surprised me. You look for a captain, you kind of look for somebody that epitomises the spirit and the willingness to work hard and show an example. Now, I'm not saying Archie Gray doesn't do that for a minute, because actually he does. But the one thing that he doesn't have, in contrast to Robbo, would be the experience, which can be, and I think is vital. So, in answer to the question, Jeff, I don't know, but it surprised me as much surprised you and Troy.
Look, the lineup surprised me. I'll be brutally honest with you, and so did Roberto De Zerbi's comments afterwards when he said Van Hecke, Tonali, Senesi were not in the best physical condition.
Why would that be then?
That's the question I've got written down. I was about to say to you, why would that be?
You would have to expand on that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd need to expand, because the obvious question to follow that would be, why not?
Yeah.
You know, what's the reason for that? Because they've had time. You know, I mean, you look at the midfield, Gallagher, Tonali and Bergvall, there's no doubt there's talent in it. And Van Hecke, as you know, is a good centre-back. But why are they not ready for the start of the season?
Yeah. And look, there was no fluke about this. I mean, it could easily have been 5 or 6. And there's talk, obviously, they spent a lot of money. There's talk about Savinho coming in, and maybe Marmoush as well. Are they the type of players they need?
I don't know, is the answer to the question. But if you're right, because me saying I don't know means probably no. I'm not sure. Yeah. You know, I'm looking at it. I mean, they've got injuries. They've still got some great players out. You know, Van de Ven never started, Porro never started, Kulusevski, Kudus. But I don't know if they're the type of player that they need more. They could do with them, but I'm not sure it's priority, if that's what you're asking me. Priority, I don't know. They just look as though they need somebody in the middle of the park that's going to grab a game by the scruff of the neck and grab people, his teammates run about him.
Yeah, well, that was meant to be Tonali, wasn't it? I've got a text in here, which is a bit harsh. It says, morning, Jeff, morning, Ali. What can I say after the weekend apart from 100 million for Tonali? That's got Ndombele written all over it.
Well, that's very early. I mean,
it is very early.
Yeah, they'd certainly had a bad day at the office, but I wouldn't be throwing those comments about after 90 minutes. But that said, I mean, I can understand Spurs fans, Tottenham fans again saying, "Oh, here we go again." 2 17th places. They've spent a right few quid, and they look as though they're going to continue between now and the closing of the window. But there's still there's more question marks. There's still more questions than answers, I think, at this moment in time, Jeff.
Yeah, and of course they've got Charlton in the League Cup midweek.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle at home next weekend. And Newcastle, I think, surprised a lot of people with their performance yesterday. Look, let's talk for a moment about Brentford. Because
Brilliant.
I thought it was a fantastic performance from Brentford. Keith Andrews right. He said afterwards, we looked a real team. And Mamadou Sangare, he looked a real player, didn't he?
Do you know something, Jeff? They're the complete opposite. What I was saying about Tottenham, you look at Tottenham full of talented players. But I look at Brentford, Jeff, same as last season. Do you know what they look full of? They look full of men. They look full of... And I don't mean that to take away from any of their natural talent, but they're an aggressive squad. They'll mess you about. They'll put balls into the box. They'll ask questions. They're powerful. And they just look everything that kind of Tottenham aren't at this moment in time. And Keith Andrews, I mean, but what we're watching the weekend, I thought they were fantastic last season. And, they've not stood still. They look as though they march forward again.
Yeah, they do. 26 attempts they had during the course of the game, which actually, from a Spurs perspective, is also a really worrying statistic.
I think with the Spurs, something's going to have to change. I mean, I like the coach, I like the manager, and yes, he should be given time, and he will be given time, absolutely. But I mean, it's like season after season. And when we go to Tottenham, I've got to say, Jeff, when we go to Tottenham and talk to the fans are brilliant. But you actually have a degree, and they don't need our sympathy, but you have a degree of sympathy for the frustration that they've had for years and years and years. There is absolutely no way on this earth that a team and a club like Tottenham Hotspur should be finishing 17th 2 years in a row. Just not on.
No. Some harsh assessments of Sandro Tonali here. I mean, maybe not surprisingly, this one's from Ian, who's a Newcastle fan. He says, Jeff, Ali, that last comment from the Spurs fan regarding Tonali, you both just said it was too early. He says, trust me, it's not.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, and that is coming from a Newcastle fan, so we should temper it with that. Jay says, morning, guys. What are we thinking about how Ipswich Town played and players coming in? Well... Julio Encisa, oh my goodness, one of the performances of the weekend, and I don't think there's any question about that. So, look, Spurs back in action, as I mentioned. They face informed Charlton in the League Cup. Could there be an upset on the cards? Will Roberto De Zerbi steady the ship? What sort of side is he going to play in that game? Because the League Cup is a sort of tournament the Spurs will be thinking it's winnable.
Yeah,
winnable. It's live for you right here on talkSPORT. Build up from 7, kick off at 8. Now, still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Spurs not the only team, of course, that produced subpar performance over the weekend. Manchester United mauled by the Tigers on Saturday lunchtime too. Aston Villa battered in half an hour. Brighton. So fans, we want to hear from you this morning. Michael Carrick, successful as an interim, got the permanent job. It's only one game in, for goodness sake, but let us know your thoughts. What you 03717 223344. We'll be taking your calls from 8 o'clock, and we'll be joined by a whole host of brilliant guests, including the Hull City captain Louis Coyle and the former Liverpool star Michael Owen. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
Danny, when you look at it, United, in that fairly congested midfield area, say Baliba comes through the door, Tielemans is there, Santos, Mainu, Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's going to be a mighty old force in midfield, is it not?
It looks a very strong group of players, all giving little different parts of what you want. A far cry, really, from what we've seen over the last couple of years. United struggling in midfield areas. And I think we're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world. They'll be looking to try and compete for the Premier League and the Champions League in the next couple of years. Of course they will. That's the aim of a club like Manchester United. So you need at least 5, when you think about it, in the middle of the park, who are going to be pushing each other, especially if they play a 3. You know, Bruno's probably the one standout, you say, in all the big games he's going to play.
Yeah.
He's got great durability anyway, and he's the match, the game changer, the match winner, the creative force, the goals. I would imagine for me, out of the others, Santos, Baliba, both young lads, both got more to come. Tielemans is more rounded, more ready to take that on. I think Tielemans.
Where's it leave Menu? A lot of people asking me to ask you that.
Well,
and what's your ideal starting 3?
I think that would depend a lot on where they're at when they come in and how they adapt to the pressure and expectation of being at Man United, because that's never easy. I think initially he might go Tielemans, Bruno and Mainu, because Mainu knows what the manager wants already. I think Baliba will become one of the main men.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Bradders says Brentford showed more desire and character, outplayed Tottenham all over the park. We couldn't even make a simple pass. It's just more of the same. And Andy, who's with Russ and 3 children on their way to the beach. At the beach at this time of the morning? They're going to freeze, Andy. He said Michael Carrick, good interim, as the players hated Amorim, same as Ollie when the players didn't like Josie. Simon Jordan will be, Carrick, get your coat. Gone by Christmas, mark my words. And John, who's a Man United fan, says Carrick got the team selection wrong on Saturday. Simple as Kobbie Mainoo should have started. I said last season, which you boys didn't like, Carrick is not the right man on a permanent basis. It's all a bit harsh one game in, isn't it? Things could look very different in a week or two. Nevertheless, you've got to react to what you've seen at the weekend, and it wasn't good enough from Man United, was it? And it certainly wasn't good enough for Tottenham. It wasn't good enough either from Aston Villa. Unai Emery urging reporters to, I quote, call his agent when asked about Ollie Watkins' absence from the Villa team for the 4-0 hammering at Brighton. Watkins linked with a move to Al Hilal. The other headlines, Lewis Hamilton's told his Ferrari team they needed to up their game if they're to remain in the F1 Championship fight. The British driver angry with strategy calls at the Dutch Grand Prix won by McLaren's Lando Norris. And Julian Alvarez booed by his own fans during Atletico Madrid's 2-2 draw against Villarreal, having said at the World Cup he wants to leave amid links to Barcelona and Arsenal. European football expert Andy Brassel discussed the situation on Trans-Euro Express.
Atleti's such a family, isn't it, or a cult, depending on which way you look at it, that you're either all the way in or you're out, aren't you? And, you know, he's not the first player that's been booed by Atletico fans. Remember the reception for Antoine Griezmann when he came back from Barcelona? And you're talking about a guy who went on to become the top scorer in the history of the club and universally loved by the fans. I mean, it was a real outpouring of emotion when he left at the end of last season. So I'm not sure it's completely unresolvable. The only small possibility, I think, of him going somewhere before deadline is if Arsenal come back to the table and Arsenal come back and make the sort of bid that a Premier League team can make.
Coyce, do you think he's more likely to end up at Arsenal than Barca?
I tell you what I do think. I hear what Andy's saying there, but I watched it and I heard it.
Yeah.
And if he comes back from that'd be nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah. You imagine he's trying to find the exit door right now.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. I mean, the one person, Granit Xhaka did it brilliantly. When you thought there was no way back from falling out with the fans, and he did come back, and it was great to see. But having watched that last night, he's already made it clear that I think his preferred option would to leave the club. Fans have made their opinion, so it looks very much like to me as if the best scenario for everybody would be get him a move, whether it's Barcelona or Arsenal. I think he's a terrific player, and I think he would do really well at Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree. The latest episode, by the way, of Danny Kelly's Trans-Euro Express podcast is available now as Andy Brassel's joined by the European football genius Daniela Fisichella, taking you on a journey through all the major stories across the continent. It's available on all podcast platforms right now. Martin the Gooner says, "Morning, boys. Is the potential upset of the Charlton Spurs game Spurs winning?" Oh, Martin.
Oh,
cheap shots too
They're off and running already.
Love it. Now with the season up and running, talkSPORT's brand new free-to-play game, Predict 6, is officially live, giving you the chance to scoop a massive £50,000 jackpot. Well, tell us whether anyone's won after a bit of a bonkers first weekend. Let's be honest about it. Let's bring in talkSPORT host, huge Arsenal fan, Laura Kirk-Francis. Morning, Laura.
Morning, Laura.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. How are we doing today?
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. My guess would be straight away that this was a tough weekend for anyone
I'll say.
to get 6 things right.
You are absolutely bang on. So this is talkSPORT's Predict 6 that we're talking about here, back for the new Premier League season. You can win a whopping £50,000 if you correctly predict. We have winners, we have first goal scorers. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. Very, very tough start, as you've just said. A couple of really tricky results in there. There is one game left to play tonight, so Chelsea versus Fulham, but there is nobody left in the running for that jackpot prize. Nobody has got it right so far, which is good because it means we go on to another week. One result, we've been talking about it all morning, that I think knocked a lot of players out on Saturday afternoon, has to be Brentford absolutely hammering Spurs. Jeff, you've just used the word abysmal to describe Spurs. Do we need to give them a little bit more time?
Well, were they not aware that the season started this weekend?
I'm trying to be nice, Jeff. I'm trying really hard to be nice, but
Look,
you know,
it's too early.
only one weekend.
For all of these teams, I'm sure you'd agree, for all the teams, it's much too early to make a judgment. All we're doing is giving our reaction on what we've seen this weekend. And Roberto De Zerbi saying, Van Hecke and Tonali and Senesi weren't ready. Well, why not?
That's the thing. That's where I'm with you. Listen, it's far too early to make sweeping statements, Laura, but at the same time, the one thing that football fans should be able to expect is their team ready for kick-off.
Yeah, they looked like it had come by surprise, despite the fact that it's been in the diary, presumably, for these professional footballers for a while. Another result as well that would have thrown a lot of our players out is that 2-2 at St James's Park yesterday. Ali, were you surprised, maybe disappointed, that at the end, with the opportunity to win it against his old fans, Isak didn't step up and take that penalty?
I don't think he was ever taking it. I don't think he was ever taking a lot. Due to the fact you've got somebody as accomplished a penalty taker as Szoboszlai. I mean, and I think the manner in which the penalty was dispatched would tell you. I don't think Isak he probably fancied it, but I think Isak was probably delighted that he had somebody a teammate of the calibre of taking a penalty as Szoboszlai, and I think that he'd probably been delighted that decision was taken out of his hands.
Yeah, what a penalty that was as well. He stood over it for a long time, Szoboszlai, and I thought to myself, I wonder if the pressure's going to get to him. But into the kind of roof of the net is one of the best I've ever seen. But the beauty of talkSPORT's Predict 6 is that we go again this weekend, so another chance to get your hands on that £50,000. So if you think you can be the first person to master it, and again, we know how unpredictable the Premier League is, so we could be sat here in a week's time with no winners. Just head to talksport.com/predict6. Round 2 opens after Fulham versus Chelsea tonight, so you can make your 6 selections then, and that jackpot could be yours, 18+. Before I go, can I just say, I completely agree with Katie and the ladies in the office about Haaland's new hair. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what... He's gone from Viking God to... man you see in Infernos in Clapham. It's a catastrophe.
Well, I've got to say to you, Jeff, Laura, Viv seems to be in the minority here with the women, because she's all for it, Laura. She's all for it. She thinks she likes a new look.
She does, and I couldn't agree more. Don't forget you can head to talksport.com/predict6. £50,000 sounds pretty good to me.
Brilliant. Laura, thank you very much indeed.
See you, Laura.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
talkSPORT host Laura Kirk-Francis with us there. Ryan's lit the blue touch paper here. Just about the perfect as weekend as you can get for Arsenal. Apart from City fluking a win, but they won't have enough to keep pace with us. They are bang average. Costi, are City bang average?
No, they're better than bang average. But I take his point. It's a very, very, very encouraging weekend for Arsenal. When you look about them, you look at Liverpool, who you would think were the biggest rivals, teams like Liverpool and City scoring late, and obviously what Arsenal did to City in the Community Shield. I can understand to a certain degree the overconfidence of that gentleman.
I would imagine that when we have a chat with the boys at Coral a little later, that Arsenal will be an even shorter price for the title than they were before the start of the weekend.
I wonder if they've gone odds on. There you are.
Yeah, they're going to be really short, no question. Up next, we'll turn our attention to Manchester United and whether the alarm bells are already ringing for the season after that opening day defeat to Hull. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say.
For the record, we've had 7 different Premier League winners.
Over 33 years, over 34 years.
But this time...
Wow.
But this time, Simon, do you not agree that this is probably the most competitive ever Premier League season on the horizon?
For participation, not for winning. You're going to be one of the 4 clubs that has the biggest turnovers is going to win the league. Aston Villa are not going to win the league. Newcastle are not going to win the league.
So how do you explain Leicester when they did it?
A rare and absolute anomaly that was never allowed to happen again, because all the big clubs sat on their hands, suddenly decided that they could all do things in a certain way, and they got caught with their pants down, even to the way that they allowed Leicester to play. Everybody knew how Leicester played. Drinkwater gets the ball, looks up, knocks it long for Vardy, and yet on the last game of the season they were doing the same thing, and teams were still playing the same way against them. So don't ask me how I explain that situation, but it's not going to be repeated, and it hasn't been repeated since, and that was now a decade ago. So who's won the league since then, and who won the league prior to that?
So tell me straight, how many teams this time around do you feel can aspire to win the Premier League?
2, 3. But that doesn't mean the league's not competitive. The argument, why would you suggest that governance needs to be brought in to the most successful league that has been the commercially most successful league in the history of football. Why are you regulating it? What are you regulating it from? I understand what he's saying is that the Premier League clubs want some degree of control. They want governance. Yeah, they want good disciplines. They want good governance. They want good regulation. Is your regulation with the consequences of the way that clubs are suing one another now, the way that they're suing, the way that Man City have been hauled over the coals and been sat in abeyance for 2 years because you can't prosecute them properly, is that good governance and good regulation? Because to me, it doesn't look like it.
From the Toffees to the Tractor Boys, the Eagles to the Seagulls, Gunners, Bees, Hammers and Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were 2 local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire is also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves 2 club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles." And some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them, like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of the biggest savings and find your next car today. 6 minutes past 8, Monday, August the 24th. Lots on the way for you this morning. Half an hour's time we'll be joined in the studio by one of English football's greatest ever, Michael Owen, will be with us. We'll also find out what the rest of the weekend looked like for Hull City following a dream opening day victory over Manchester United. The Hull captain Louis Coyle is with us at 9:30. And the search for Gabiak Bonlahor continues after the 4-0 defeat at Brighton yesterday, but we'll do everything we can to get him on the show. We absolutely promise. A couple of messages for me have come through on X. West Sussex Spurs says, I'm hearing rotation against Charlton. 1 game a week, we need to challenge for domestic cups.
Correct.
And after Saturday, this team needs to play together and get fit. KTB says, hi Jeff, your biggest fan in Ghana here. Can you kindly explain to me what a soft penalty is? Because on any other part of the pitch, that is a foul. It was a Stonewall penalty. KTB, I think we agree with you. It was a penalty. But you know what I mean? There wasn't a great deal of contact, but enough to give a penalty, which was brilliantly dispatched by Dominic Soboslai.
Certainly was.
One of the big shocks of a shocking opening weekend, if you like, was on Saturday lunchtime at the MKM Stadium as Man United were beaten 2-0 by Hull City. First half goals, sealing Hull's first ever top-flight win over United. Michael Carrick spoke to talkSPORT's Sam Matterface after the game and discussed what went wrong for his side.
I don't want to hide behind anything now. I think today we got beaten. We got to take it on the chin. So we got a good team. We got a good squad. So whether it's about finding that sharpness, finding that rhythm, finding the connections, I'm really confident that we'll find that and we'll be better for it today than the boys who have played. The boys ready to make a difference next week. I think we'll be okay.
Ahmad not available today because of an injury, but Marcus Rashford back in the squad and wearing the number 9 shirt. Is his future resolved now? Is he going to be a Manchester United player this season? He
played. He came on today and done everything he could to try and make a difference for us. Just because he's got the number 9, it doesn't really have a massive impact on whatever. He's got to wear some number. So we've been delighted to have him, and he was trying things long down the side with Luke today. Just couldn't quite find that moment for us. But yeah, as I said, we're delighted to have him.
It's never great to start with a defeat, but does it put more pressure on next Sunday's game against Ipswich?
Nah, it's just part of it. One defeat doesn't define what team you are, and we had defeats at certain points during last season and found a way to bounce back and win games. So we're disappointed, we're hurting, but we've got to stay composed and think clearly and understand why and keep improving.
I mean, Coisty, if I'm a Manchester United fan, first thing I'd be doing is looking at a back four of Mazraoui, Maguire, Heaven and Shaw.
Yeah.
And I'd be worried straight away, would you?
Yeah. And particularly the way they defended the set plays. I did mention that I thought the quality of the set play were absolutely tremendous. Whipped in with a lot of pace, low trajectory. Some of them are very, very difficult to defend, and that was the case. But they just didn't look right in all areas of the pitch, Jeff, defensively. I said they looked an attacking threat, and I mentioned it earlier, when they put Harry Maguire through the middle. And that in itself would tell you it's a sad state of affairs. The two boys in the middle of the park, Santos and Tielemans, clearly will be given it, as they should, more time. But I've got to say, the whole performance, the two boys that they were against, Crooks and Slater, I thought played exceptionally well. They just Hull looked more aggressive all over the pitch, Jeff. And I don't mean about kicking people. I just mean in their approach to the game. Yeah. They just looked far more aggressive. Whether it was a desire thing, it was a worrying. I think it was worrying 90 minutes for Manchester United. What I said, I don't know whether you agree. I thought after watching Arsenal against Manchester City in the Community Shield, I said I wouldn't be worried if I was, Manchester City, but I'd be slightly concerned. I'd be more than slightly concerned about Manchester United's performance at the weekend.
Yeah. Look, completely concur. I think comparisons with what happened when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over on a permanent basis and Michael Carrick taking over on a permanent basis, I think it's way too premature.
Of course it is.
Too premature.
Of course it is.
For that. It was one game. You don't want to play a newly promoted side in that first game of the season. You just don't. And I know that Arsenal dispatched Coventry with consummate ease. But nevertheless, to go to someone like Hull, they're right up for it. They're offended by being written off by absolutely everyone. They got off to a flyer, and they were excellent.
Do you know what I think, Jeff? And it's easy to say it after watching the weekend's results. See if you're a newly promoted side. See if you can get your first game at home.
Yeah.
And get the whole. I mean, the atmosphere, and it just looked the same at Ipswich, I've got to say.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere in Hull at the weekend was brilliant, Jeff. I mean, it was great. A lot of the kids there with families, the home support were right up for it. You know, the guy with a microphone before the game had the whole place absolutely rocking. I just think sometimes wee things like that, if you can get a home game, and get the crowd all going, and it was a perfect start for clearly Ipswich, a late goal as well, but particularly Hull.
Yeah. Dave says, as a United fan, I'm worried about the lack of creativity. We looked like we were playing a friendly while they were at it. Let's hear from a Manchester United fan. Jordan is a Man U fan. Morning, Jordan.
Good morning, Jordan.
Morning, Nigel. You all right?
Yeah,
excellent.
Good.
Thank you.
Were you concerned by what you saw at the weekend?
Not massively. I think it's been blown out of proportion a bit. It's the first game of the season for starters, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone's saying we need to sign these players. We need to sign these players. Yes, we need a couple of defensive players, but the players we have, we should be winning a game like that regardless. We shouldn't need more signings to go and win a game like that. But I've got to say, watching the game, Hull look bang up for it. They come to beat us. They didn't come to just get a draw or look like get the feel for the Premier League. They came to beat us, and that's what won them the game at the end of the day, I think.
Do you know something, Jordan? I don't know whether you agree or not. It'd be interesting to hear your views. Do you know one of the big differences that when I watched the game that I saw? I'm looking at United, and I mentioned Cunha. Not really an out number 9. He was dropping in at number 10. He was playing sometimes a little bit deeper than Fernandes. He swapped with Mbeumo. I get all that. See the one difference. See when I was watching Hull, when they got it in wide areas, the boy Lewis Coyle on the right hand side who's coming on, and Ryan Giles in the left, first thing they did, mate, was put the ball into the box for the centre forward McBurney to attack, and it was asking questions, and it was just I don't think United handled it at all day.
No, you're completely right. We didn't handle it, and it goes to show that our defence is the only place that is lacking. But still, with that team, I still think we should be doing better. Mm-hmm. It's not defensively a problem we have, because we conceded 2 goals, but we didn't even score a goal. Mm-hmm. If it was just a defensive problem, then we would have scored a goal, surely.
Yeah, I think you do have a defensive problem when you concede from 2 set plays as well, though, Jordan. Look, mate, thank you very much indeed. It's very early in the season. Just a couple of quick Arsenal texts. Darren in the Angels says, Jeff, Ali, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not getting carried away after one game. I remember Liverpool at the start of last season. They were lauded as having the greatest transfer window of all time, and went on to win their first 5 games. We all know how that ended. Darren, I'm glad you're not getting carried away. Steve the Gooner, on the other hand, says, morning, lads. Arsenal are 100% favourites to walk the league this year. Arsenal's champion, Spurs championship. And Noel in Northern Ireland said, league is over already. So I'm glad nobody's getting carried away after 1 week of the season.
Brilliant.
Of course, I just want to mention one National League line. Obviously, I'm keeping pretty quiet this morning.
Yeah, speak to you one at the weekend. I was biding my time.
We didn't deserve anything out of the game. We couldn't handle Sutton's long throws. And the boy up front for them as well, big boy up front, he was absolutely outstanding. But Ben Hines said, great weekend for the Seasiders, topping the National League. The Seasiders in question as Southend United. 100% record there. And their manager is Kieran Dyer. And he is making quite an impact. An impact. Well done to them. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to tonight's game. Chelsea go to Fulham. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT. We'll discuss whether Chelsea could be Arsenal's biggest challengers.
We're due to talk about Spurs now. O'Hara was meant to be here, Jason Cundy, but apparently he's bottled his chance to plug your show. What If you're not watching but listening, you've put on a Jamie O'Hara mask. Is that a new thing? I mean, that's quite horrific.
I don't know what it looks like. How does it look?
What do you think it looks like?
I can't see myself. Does it look like O'Hara?
Have a look at the monitor.
Every time I do that, I turn away.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it looks ghastly, and I never use that word. Yeah. Have you put it on before?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I've worn it before.
It's
so
vile.
Weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. So do you want to pretend he's here?
I can pretend he's here.
Okay, let's
Shambles! Shambles!
Good team. Why is he not here? I heard he stormed out the studio again yesterday.
Last night, honestly.
Soon it's going to be more of a shot of his face.
I talk about Spurs.
Take the mask off, for God's sake. Yeah.
Honestly, when we talk...
Oh, put it back, put it back.
Put it on. I love getting into him about Spurs. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And he was saying if they buy Savinho and Mamouche, they're guaranteed top four, top two. And I'm like, come on, mate, come on. The Ange mask will come out, and it just grew legs and arms. The thing, and it just exploded.
You got many more masks?
No, yeah, we've got Benty mask.
Have you?
No, we don't. No.
Don't wear him in a bank.
Do you know what happened though? Here's what happened with the Ange mask. We bought it last season when he took over at Forest, and we ordered it from I think South America. By the time the mask turned up, he'd been sacked.
Morning, 8:20 on Monday, August the 24th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. Marcus Texas saying, definitely a worrying defeat for United. Might make our board see we still need some improvements at the back. Hull could be this season's Sunderland and surprise teams, especially at their place. It's a great text, Mark, there. And one more message on X here from Old Goldview says, no mention for Wolves this morning. Fer Lopez tearing up the championship. His first goal, oh my goodness me, was absolutely fantastic. Right, let's get the latest odds with Coral and Sam and Claire.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Simon, morning to you.
Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ali. It's been a while.
It has been a while, my friend. Are you in good form? You must have enjoyed that the meeting at the York. I mean, Alan King for the E-board was. I just think it's a fantastic 3 or 4 days, isn't it?
It was wonderful. Listen, blessed with the weather, but it's a great race course. So it's right close to one of the best cities in Britain, really, York, and the local community really embraced it. The racing was fantastic. Andrew Balding had an incredible week with Item winning the Judd Monty, Kalpana winning the Yorkshire Oaks. And then, as you say, Dakary Boy and winning the E-Ball for Alan King, and a great win for Wesley Ward in the Nunthorpe with Baccio. So some really big headline performances over the 5 days. Yeah.
Simon, a lot of Arsenal fans texting in saying the league's over already. You agree?
Well, look, it's been a good start. And I think, listen, it was a relatively serene victory, I think, on Friday night. They were shortened to even money, still just resisting the urge, Ali, of going odds on.
I thought they might have, mate.
but like you said, I think the contrast was, we saw all season last year, despite Arsenal winning the title, I was talking to some Arsenal fans at the weekend, how many games were nail-biters, narrow wins, last-minute wins. We didn't get that many games where you almost were comfortably in front at half-time. So that was a good start. And then we saw there was nothing to predict about the rest of match day 1 with some extraordinary performances, the likes of Villa's defeat and Spurs' performance, United. I think Arsenal fans, it's nice to be relaxed on a Monday, listening to other teams being talked about.
Where are Chelsea at this moment in time? Because their odds will probably change after tonight, one way or another. Because there's an uncertainty and a kind of mystique about Chelsea at this moment in time, Simon.
Yeah, well, I think in many ways, like you said, with all the pre-season billing for Spurs and Jamie O'Hara getting overexcited, and Spurs were 3-1 for a top 4 finish. They're now up to 9-2 after that one game, and you're debating them this morning. Yeah. Chelsea, it could be that same sort of mix.
Yes.
If they go to Fulham and win, and they're 10-11 favourites to do so tonight, they could be, they're 8-1 for the title. They'll be comfortably third favourites. They might go 7-1 or 6-1 with an impressive performance. But on the other hand, if it was a poor performance, Fulham win, you could see them disappearing out to double-figure odds for the title. So a big night, another fascinating night, because Fulham, let's talk about them. Marco Silva done an amazing job for the last 5 years. He's gone. Some players have gone, like Harry Wilson had a great season. Arbeloa now the manager. Gonzalo Garcia seems to be the signing they're pinning their hopes on. But they're just 9-2 for relegation, something that Fulham fans haven't had to worry about in recent years. And so again, I think big game tonight for both clubs. And of course, it is a West London derby, do we call it, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just look at the comparative net spends of the two sides in the summer, and it tells you why the odds are like they are. Chelsea's net spend is over 200 million, whereas Fulham's is around 50 million, something like that anyway. A few people have been suggesting that Hull, Sam, they could be this season's Sunderland. Now, just about everybody had them written off in terms of Premier League survival. Have you changed your tune at all?
Well, we changed it a bit, but that's a big call. I mean, they were 1-6 to be relegated. They're now 1-4. So I think no one should ever react to one performance. But I thought there was a lot to like about, as you said, the aggression. Ali described it well, the energy, the pace, the hunger, the fun they were having almost. And I think it's not beyond the wit of man. I think who do they play next? Is it? Coventry, I think. I can't remember who they're playing.
Coventry away, you're correct.
That's it. Yeah. So another interesting game. If they could get a result there, suddenly, it's a great sort of foundation. But Coventry at 8-11, trimmed slightly for relegation. We didn't overreact to that. Ipswich, obviously, with Alan Brazil in the stands cheering them on, even money. And the teams who were sort of short in the betting, 9-4 Sunderland, they were 7-2. 4-1 Palace have shortened, and even say Fulham 9-2 the next in the betting. So it's a long way to go. But so Hull, great to see a great performance. To beat Man United was absolutely fantastic.
Do you think, Simon, we're going to see, and I go back to Newcastle, who had a couple of fantastic qualifications for Champions League, but really struggled, I think, to come to terms with the amount of the impact of the extra games and the intensity of all the games. Do you think that might be the case with like United and Sunderland?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, United have got European football they didn't have last year. Sunderland, that'd be great fun for them in Europe, but they've got to make sure they don't slip down the trap door. And of course, the flip is, and I think that's why Chelsea fans are so excited, the fact they've got no European football means they can give this absolute concerted go at the title, which all starts tonight. But I think, well, look, the great thing is about Premier League football, everyone keeps saying it's only one game in, let's not overreact. And actually, it's just thrown up. I mean, Aston Villa's performance and Unai Emery's interview about Ollie Watkins. I mean, everything about that first round of games has thrown up so many talking points, which, of course, we just all take into the second weekend this weekend and see how it plows through. I mean, Man United are home to Ipswich. They're 2-5 to get a win. Spurs are 5-4 at home to Newcastle. That's a cracking game at the weekend. Villa got the toughest second game. They're 9-2 at home to Arsenal. So obviously Arsenal fans probably couldn't have picked a better time to face a side who've actually given them trouble in the last few seasons.
Simon, thanks so much.
Thanks, Simon.
Good week,
mate.
That was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18+. gambleaware.org. Simon mentioned Sunderland. I know they lost at Ipswich, but I didn't think there was any real cause for concern. They gave the ball away for both of the goals. But overall, I thought their performance was pretty decent. Coming up, we will be joined by the 2001 Ballon d'Or winner, Michael Owen, to find out what he made of Liverpool's opener with Newcastle.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Finished 9th. Yep. You come on talkSPORT and said that Chelsea are going to win the league. Yep. Who's the idiot?
We've got a manager that knows how to win a league.
No. Who's the idiot?
Won the Bundesliga.
I don't care. Who's the idiot?
What's the Spursy one? What's the Spursy ever won?
They finished 10th. Sorry.
10th.
Correction.
I know.
You finished 10th.
You'll take our place.
No, you finished 10th.
You'll take our place.
All right. And you come on talkSPORT and said that you're going to win the league.
You'll take our.
I don't think I'm an idiot in saying that Spurs can finish in the top 4 if we sign for Savinho.
Okay. You'll take our place.
So,
Roberto De Spursy.
There's only one mug here, and it's you.
Roberto De Spursy, he'll take 10th, mate. That's a good season for you lot. Mate, you'll take that. Jay.
Don't
100%.
Don't Jay me. Don't Jay me. Don't Jay me.
Jay, 100% you take 10th. I'll give you 10th now. With 10 games to go 10th. So you've not got to sweat like you did last season. Sweating over the last couple of games. Are we going to go down? Oh, no. We go, oh, no, we're going to go down.
Mate, you finished 10th.
Yeah, I know we did.
You literally finished 10th.
Yeah, but we've got a manager that knows how to win.
That's almost like you spent £1 billion on a football team.
Yeah,
and finished 10th.
Another billion.
Right, who's more embarrassing?
And we're going to win it.
Who's more embarrassing?
Do you know what we should do? We should go for Savinho and Mamouche. Then we'll definitely win it. Put that in the Todd.
Keep.
Would you make, don't start getting.
No.
Don't.
I really want to swear at you, but I'm not going to. Right?
Don't, Jay. Take. I'll give you. Okay, here we go. 10th. Yes or no? Yes or no? Jay. Yes or no? Take 10th. He's going to take 10th. He's wrong there. You got to take 10th.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by 3 men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
we go, 8:32, Monday, August the 24th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, who's up in Glasgow, and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'd like to say we're now joined in the studio by this legendary goal scorer.
It could be away here. Michael Owen, he's got Scholes with him, but it's still Owen. Oh, what a goal!
What a shot for the hat-trick here. Owen! Oh, this is getting better and better and better.
I had him in my pocket, and I'd actually gone up for a corner and left what I thought was plenty of people behind.
Adams has stayed back for Arsenal. Look at the pace here of Michael Owen again. It's there!
Wenger blamed me for that.
Free kick for Manchester United meantime. Into the near post. It's a goal! Michael Owen!
Yeah, he won the Ballon d'Or, won the Premier League title, scored 40 goals for England in 89 caps. Absolutely brilliant career. Of course, nowadays he's very much involved in other sports, including horse racing, which we'll touch on in a moment. It's a very good morning to Michael Owen. Morning, Michael.
Morning, Michael. How you doing?
Morning, Ali.
Look, Michael, we've had Keeping Up with the Kardashians, we had the Beckhams, the Rooneys, the Vardys. Prime Video's giving viewers a front row seat to the action with Meet the Owens, you and your family. I have to be honest, Meet the McCoists, yeah, I get that. We would be scared stiff at the Stelling household of letting the cameras in there. You worried about it at all?
No, we loved it. Absolutely loved the process. To be honest, when I first was approached, I thought this would be fantastic for my stables. Everybody thinks, oh, Michael Owen's into his horses, but I don't think people actually realise how much and for how long and to what level, let's say. But we've been training for 23 years now. I've had Manor House stables, and we've got 135 horses, and we're, all over the world with our string. It's just it's amazing, and I wanted to show people that. And then the doors open, and then you get friendly with the with the crew and everything else like that, and welcome them into your house, and then all of a sudden the cameras are just there, and they're there all the time, and it's been a right laugh. We've absolutely loved it.
That's what I was going to ask you, Michael, right? See, with a programme like that, Jeff's right. I mean, the pressure's right on you, the Kardashians, and I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, the whole lot. But how much control do you have, A, of the edit, and how much are they in your life, like, actually 24/7?
We've had, listen, the guys that we've been working with, obviously Prime Video and Whisper, who have been the production company, have just been absolutely brilliant right from minute one. We're not actors. We said that right from the start. We don't want anything being staged or anything else like that. What happens, and we're more than happy to open our doors and, open my family to what it is. Well, listen, we've been used to cameras for some time, but so... Yeah, we've, if something was said or something happened and we don't want it in, then they've been absolutely cool with that. But I must admit, there's been very little, and we've it's basically warts and all.
Brilliant. As far as the yard goes, things going well, aren't there? So a couple of winners at the Ebor meeting last night.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled. 2 winners at the, and we all know how competitive it is up there at York. So to have 2 winners in the week, it was great. We're about 2/3 through the season now, and we're pretty much ahead of where we have been in previous seasons. We're nearly up at 1.2 million of prize money and 40 odd winners, etc. So yeah, we're ticking along well. We had our first Group 1 winner in about 10-12 years in America the other day. We won the Saratoga Derby as well, which is just incredible. So things are going really, really well. Yeah.
Where did it come from, Michael? Where did the interest come from? I mean, back in our day, we always had a day at the races. We were going to Cheltenham or even one of the local courses, Hamilton Air up here, whatever it may be. Where did the interest come from you? Because the legendary stories are, I can't remember, one of the boys said you would always march into the dressing room in the morning with a racing post under your arm.
That's true. Still do, although not into a dressing room anyway. The interest came from my dad. Definitely. He used to watch me play on a Saturday morning, and on the way home, if I scored a goal or two, then he'd give me £1 and I'd go to the sweet shop as my reward, and he'd go next door to the bookies to put his 50p on 3 horses. So we'd go home and watch his horses running. So that's where it all started. And then fortunately for me, obviously, I came into a few quid. And by the time I was 18, I bought my first horse. And then within a year or two, I just knew this was the industry for me. I knew that the football industry didn't last forever. I wanted to start a business and I didn't know what. But I knew by the time I was 20 what I wanted to do. And by the time I was 23, I looked at so many different farms, found an old arable farm and opened the doors to Manor House Stables. As you start small, started with about 5 or 10 horses, and now we're up to 135 and employing 50 people, and everything's going great. So, yeah, it's absolutely my pride and joy.
Brilliant. We can see how much you love it by the way you talk about it. It's passion,
Passion.
Look, let's touch on football for a moment or two. Let's put yourself in Alexander Isak's shoes. Yesterday, 2-1 down in added time at Newcastle. You get a penalty. He's had a pretty difficult start at Liverpool. Are you grabbing that ball to take the penalty?
Do you know what? I had this debate. I was doing the game for TV last night, and we had this debate as well. It's one of those, isn't it? If you're not the allocated penalty taker, then it's very hard too, and I don't think you should. We've seen over the years people squabbling on the pitch. It's not a good look at all. And added to that, he was already under a lot of pressure. Imagine grabbing that ball in the 97th or whatever the minute was and taking that. And imagine not scoring. So I know it would be great for him to get off the mark and get going. But if he wasn't the allocated penalty taker, then he shouldn't be taking it. And that's not to say that before the game or whatever he shouldn't. He took penalties for Newcastle and a very good penalty taker. And he's not going to get them anytime soon because it wasn't a bad penalty, was it, from Szoboszlai?
Brilliant.
Well, it's a tremendous penalty.
Wow.
Michael, where are you with Isak at this moment? I just think that particular penalty, Szoboszlai was always taking it, and likes of Isak had far more to lose than he had to gain by taking that penalty. But where are you with Isak at this moment in time? He looks to me, he's obviously had big injury problems and all that stuff. The move was well documented. Newcastle fans are unhappy. What's it going to take for him to get playing with a regular confidence and show the ability that we know he has?
Well, I'm not sure about you, Ali, but I had plenty of injuries in my career, so I know how hard it is to get back, and you do need a bit of time. And everybody's given him time and understood that, but then he's sort of finished the season, then he's gone to the World Cup, and now he's had a pre-season, and you just think, okay, now we're starting to run out of excuses. We need to start seeing the real Isak, and we know how good he is. Wow, we saw him for Newcastle. He's absolute class. But we haven't seen it for Liverpool just yet, and I think, questions will come now. As I say, always give him the benefit of the doubt in the past with Liverpool, but at the start of this season now we're expecting, and Liverpool absolutely need him. They've lost Salah, Ekitike's out. There's not that many options in attacking areas. They absolutely need him to be on top form. Yesterday, he was far from it. I thought he was a yard off, and that's worrying. But so was Wirtz. I thought he was really quiet as well. So, it wasn't the greatest performance for Liverpool. They actually did well to scrounge a point in the end. But obviously, he's the big money signing. He's headline maker. And, I can't say he played well because he really didn't.
What would be acceptable for Liverpool in Andoni Iraola's first season, do you think?
Well, everybody says Champions League qualification at the start. It'd be a disaster if you couldn't. They got into the Champions last season with an awful season, so that really doesn't wash for me. Of course, Arne Slot lost his job by getting in the Champions League qualification places, so I don't think that's enough. Obviously, with a new manager, he's going to get a bit of time and he's picking up the pieces. If you'd asked me, 12 months ago, they just won the league. In fact, they cantered to the league. They won it easily. And then they went and spent fortunes. If you'd asked me to sit here a year on and sort of say where they are and what's happened in the meantime and sort of a bit of a mess that's in front of us at the moment, then I would never have believed it. There's so much surgery that needs on that team, and it was such a great team not so long. Why? How has this sort of happened? It's unbelievable. But let's get it right. One game, it wasn't a disaster. 1 point, not easy. New manager of Newcastle, new players. Obviously, the Kevin Keegan emotion that was in the air. It's not the worst result to go to St James's Park and get a point. So you know, we mustn't get too carried away. And Iriola, I like him. I like his style of play. I think he could be the right fit for Liverpool. And we'll see this season.
Hoisty's going to be dying to jump in, so I'll say quickly, we know you have to leave us now. So, look, really, I'm looking forward to hearing about how you're the last man to leave the dance floor, mate.
As long as you don't see me dancing, that's all right.
Brilliant. Look, really appreciate you coming in, mate. So, all 6 episodes, Meet the Owns, available to stream exclusively on Prime Video from the 28th of August in the UK and Ireland, and available to Prime members at no additional cost. Good luck with the...
Great to see you, Mike. All the best, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a great text as well from Jason. He said, the Stellings, no gravy in this house, a must-watch. Coming up, we'll ask Ali if the Mateta situation at Palace could prove to be a disaster for the new manager. That's next.
So this summer has gone from bad to worse for Villa. Unai Emery, Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans already gone, of course. And now it looks like Konza, that's the big one, is on his way to the Arsenal. Let's bring in another Gabby, who must be delighted. Gabby the Gunner, who has called us in 03717 22 3344. Gabby, a very good morning.
Dry your eyes, Gab. I know it's hard to take, but Concer's made his mind up. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, Gab. I know you want to make Concer see how much his pain hurts, but you've got to walk away now. It's over. Sorry, Gab. And Alan, welcome back, sir.
Thanks,
I'm
mate.
so pleased you've got a fit bill of health.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm good, Gabby. Thank you very much, mate. I was missing this, so I'm back.
Missing you.
He's not missed you, mate.
Missing you, Alan.
He ain't missed you, Gabby.
Oh, he always misses me. It's you he doesn't miss, Gab. Come on, bruv.
Can I ask you a question, though? You
Go
know,
on,
spending what you spent again this summer, is the minimum Champions League and Premier League for Arsenal?
Oh, Gab, listen, you've got to always make a great politician, wouldn't he, Alan? He really would make
I'm
a
asking
great
you,
politician.
Are you closer to winning the Champions League with these signings?
I still think we're short of one exceptional striker. I think Osimhen, Alvarez, that's kind of the missing link. It could be enough with Solis and with the guys we've got.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us live in Glasgow. We just heard from Michael Owen, home with the Owens. Morning, guys, says Lee, who's a Liverpool fan. Meet the McCoists would never work. Ali's never home with him having his 15 jobs. Precious little optimism about Liverpool fans this morning, though. Ian, who's a Liverpool fan in Halifax, says Liverpool are nowhere near being title contenders with our fullbacks, Kirkes and Frimpong. Not good enough. Neither can defend or even cross a ball. The lunacy of letting Robbo go was more than evident. The sooner Conor Bradley is fit, the better. And Simon in Warrington says, over the last 12 months, we've lost one of our best ever left backs, one of our best ever right backs, and one of our best ever players. No amount of money spent can replace those. So not a massive amount of optimism amongst Liverpool fans. Probably the same can be said of Aston Villa fans. Headlines this morning, Unai Emery's urged reporters to call his agent when asked about Ollie Watkins' absence from the Villa team for yesterday's 4-0 thumping at Brighton. Watkins considering a move to Al Hilal. Al Hilal have also made an opening bid of close to £50 million to sign the Arsenal winger Gabriel Martinelli, talkSPORT understands. And this Saturday, Moses Itoma bids to become Britain's youngest ever heavyweight world champion. We're building up to the big fight all week in partnership with DAZN, and Itoma has told talkSPORT this is the biggest moment of his career.
Big fight build-up on talkSPORT with DAZN on August 29th. Witness history as Moses bids to become Britain's youngest ever heavyweight world champion, exclusively on DAZN Saturday Fight Night.
This is the hardest fight, like professional, amateur, like it's just the threat, the opposition, the what's at stake. Of course, like it's the biggest fight of my life, and especially what I do like about this fight is that obviously Filip Hrgović has achieved so much great things in his career, and like the good thing about my position is I get to add them accolades onto my career.
So it's Itoma against Hrgović with DAZN. Join DAZN Ultimate for 185 plus fight nights and 12 plus pay-per-views every year, including Itoma against Hrgović, all included at no extra cost. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Big fight build-up on talkSPORT with DAZN on August 29th. Witness history as Moses bids to become Britain's youngest ever heavyweight world champion, exclusively on DAZN Saturday Fight Night.
Ben in Tewkesbury says, Villa fan, utterly depressed.
Yeah.
Please tell me it'll be okay. Ben, it'll be okay. Possibly.
It'll maybe be okay, Ben.
Okay, you feeling better now, Ben?
How's that for you, mate?
It's only a week in, Ben. It's only a week in. Now, time for a bit of this.
Ask me. Back to McCoist! The goal's been coming, and it's supplied once again by Ali McCoist.
Chop, 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 chop. I just used to chop it back over the net.
Hi there, it's Sean Dyche here. You're listening to the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast Show.
Can't it be a bit AC/DC, man? But the football ground, it's pardon me.
I'm saying a mongoose. Yeah, but it's a mongoose-like creature. It might be the mongoose, in fact.
Marvellous! You've got no idea.
I used to be quite well respected in footballing circles.
So ask me.
Yeah, it's the feature where he puts some of football's most pressing questions to Ali and get his thoughts. We'll start with this one. Could these two be making a last-minute move somewhere?
Pino, back for Sarr, chance for two, he's taken it brilliantly. Walton picks the ball up, then strikes from distance, parried into the path of JP Mateta, who scores the opening goal of the Conference League final.
Yeah, Mateta, well, it looks like he's trying to force his way out on a free transfer. And Sarr not in the squad at Everton at the weekend, being linked to Galatasaray. Could Palace afford to lose those two, Coisty?
Oh, no, is the answer to the question. I mean, they're not quite at the Villa stage yet, are they, Palace, in terms of losing players? But you think of the players that they've lost in the last couple of seasons, 3 or 4 seasons, Jeff, it's been remarkable. It really has. And at the same time, the success that they've had in the last 2 or 3 seasons has been quite brilliant. Obviously, Europe and the FA Cup and things like that. It's been a joy, a brilliant period to be a Palace fan. However, you'd have to be a little bit concerned. You lose those two, and they are, if not the nucleus of your side, certainly a massive, massive integral part of your team. The vibe isn't really good with Mateta, to be honest with you, Jeff, is it? Let's be honest about it. He looks as though he'll leave. New coach. The previous coach, I think, did a fantastic job. You know, you still get some great players, whether it's Muniz, Wharton, Tarek Mitchell, all those guys. But, in answer to your question, it would be a savage blow to lose the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, Palace have been relatively comfortable in recent seasons, haven't they? They've had, terrific management. It's a big ask, I think, for Pierre Sarge. Whether they'll still have enough to survive, I think they probably will do.
I think they probably will. I mean,
yeah.
I'm looking at and I'm only watching the highlights against Everton.
Yeah.
And they certainly weren't without chances, Crystal Palace. You know what I mean? They had a couple of chances.
No, they had good. Well, Mateta himself had a couple of great opportunities.
He did, and Ketty had a chance as well. So, and it's all ifs and buts. The back is in, changes the game. I get all that, but when you're a team like Palace and you're losing the quality continually, it's very, very difficult to handle it, and it's even more difficult to replace it, I think.
Yeah. Next up, let's look at Man City. You got all 3 points against Bournemouth yesterday. They were pretty unconvincing, though. Do you think Enzo Maresca has the excuse that the players have only just come back from the World Cup? Or is it just a bedding in process for the new Man City coach?
It's probably a combination of the two. I understand players coming back from the World Cup, and some of them will come back at different stages. I get that, Jeff, but the importance is, and the massively important thing, they need to be ready for the start of the season. You know, it can be, because it's unforgiving. Now, you talk about changing personnel. There's been an unbelievable change in personnel from City's point of view, going all the way back to Bernardo Silva, Rodri, even going back to De Bruyne and all these guys as well. But the biggest miss, the biggest change is the coach, Jeff. That is why we're sort of, I'm not saying for a minute it's going to be the same as Sir Alex, because it won't be, but we've saw how in previous seasons and years how difficult it is to replace somebody as important as the head coach when he has a relationship with the team and the fans and a great success. So from that point of view, the pressure is right on Maresca. However, it's worth mentioning they've got brilliant players. They've got absolutely fantastic players. Yes, they left it late at the weekend, but the fact of the matter is they won the game. I was a little bit concerned at the gap, and I know we're going on about it, Jeff, and it's only a pre-season game, Community Shield, but the gap in the standard of play between Arsenal and City did cause me a little bit of concern from City's point of view. And I actually think it might be too much for them. However, there will be improvement. I think there'll be a steady improvement in City this year. Whether they're good enough to win the league again, I'm not so sure.
Certainly Maresca raised a few eyebrows, didn't he, when he put Mark Gahey in midfield. I think when Buadi arrives, that's not an experiment that's going to be repeated too often.
No, but Buadi was, I saw him live, I think 2 or 3 times, Jeff, in the World Cup, and I was really, really impressed. Not really like for like with Rodri, but you could see him in a good replacement, though.
Oh, absolutely. And finally, let's talk about this man.
And Cito shoots from the edge of the area and produces a blinding goal.
Julio Encisa. What? Look, Ipswich have really gone for it in the transfer market. Really gone for it. But what a performance from that man.
Absolutely outstanding. I mean, I was on the phone to Big Al, because Big Al, I don't know if you're aware of it, Jeff, he's taken a couple of season books at the Ipswich, and he's really looking forward to it. And he certainly had a great start to his season with a late goal at the weekend. I just think the importance of newly promoted sides getting some results early, and particularly being really, really strong at home. But I just thought he was different. As for his team, was different. I only watched the highlights. I thought Ipswich were absolutely fabulous. You're right. I'm not overly concerned about Sunderland, Jeff, but I just thought the quality of goal that we saw, and Cecil but his general all-round play, You know, I think he's very, very clever. He's very, very intelligent, and he looks in the initial stages. It's still very, very early, as if he'll be at home in the top flight, and that's a real boost for Ipswich. But Ipswich, I was impressed with him. I mean, I've got to say Sunderland's free kick, the goal was equally, I mean, spot on. I thought it was absolutely terrific. But you look at Ipswich, they kept going. The spirit's good. Yes, Sunderland, I felt, you know, cut their own throats a little bit with the goals. But from Ipswich's point of view, very early days, like Hull, really encouraging.
Yeah, I thought the partnership between him and Emerson, the new young Brazilian, very promising indeed. By the way, you see the size of the Ipswich goalkeeper? 6'9".
9.
6'9".
And he still couldn't get that free kick.
I know. Absolutely amazing. Thanks, Coisty. Just a quick one from Big Luke, who's a Bristol City fan. Says, morning, Jeff and Ali. You got to mention the championship goal of the season already. Super Dom Ballard with the back heel volley for Bristol City at Birmingham. We did earlier, Luke, probably before you got out of bed this morning. I said, I don't think it's the championship goal of the season. I think it's probably the goal of the season in any league. I can't imagine anything better being scored this season, and I know it's only August. It was sublime. If you've not seen it, you know, get on YouTube and have a look, because it's stunning. It truly is stunning. Now, still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you.
Up next, after Villa got battered 4-0 by Brighton, you have been calling all morning to hear Gabby Agbonlahore's thoughts. He was on social media battering United, battering Spurs for their defeat, but can he face the music when it happens to his own side? Well, you'll find out next. And don't forget, Louis Coyle, the Hull City captain, is on with us at around 9:30 as well. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
And 2 weeks today, the transfer window closes. Would you anticipate much more business in terms of incomings between now and then?
Well, you can see the league, how unpredictable the league is and the amount of things that can happen on a day. So it's better not to talk too much, be prepared, be open, and hopefully we can wrap up the transfer window in a really positive way.
You were speaking before the Community Shield. You were asked about your long-term future and contract negotiations, and you said there's nothing to worry about, Arsenal fans. Do you see yourself as somebody who can do what the likes of Guardiola and Wenger and Ferguson did and stay at the club for many years and build a dynasty?
I want to do what I'm capable of doing and what is the best for the club. And I feel very, very happy and grateful to be sitting where I am with the people that I work with every single day. And my ambition is to continue this way.
Was it strange at Cardiff on Sunday that you weren't facing Pep Guardiola in the dugout, given that rivalry that's developed and obviously your relationship with him?
It was different. Obviously, I know Enzo really well, but obviously the relationship that I built with Pep when we work with each other, and then the amount of headaches and sweats that he has provided to me over the last 6-7 years to try to catch up to the level and the standards that they set in the league has been an absolute inspiration. I think he's left a benchmark and a mark in this league that it will be history forever, and he made us, I think, all of us better.
Have you had many conversations with him since the end of the season, since you were crowned champions?
I had, and I have due to have an important as well in the next few days, and I'm looking forward to it.
Toffees to the Tractor Boys, the Eagles to the Seagulls, Gunners, Bees, Hammers and Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire is also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves two club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles." And some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them, like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Yeah, good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark's deal drop. Got the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. Into the final hour of the show, 9:05. Still plenty to come for you, though. We'll find out what the rest of the weekend looked like for Hull City following that dream opening day victory over Man United. Hull captain Louis Coyle will be on with us in the last half hour of the show. We'll also be hearing from talkSPORT's Alex Crook to run through the latest transfer news and Premier League football not over for the weekend. Small matter of Xabi Alonso's first game in charge at Chelsea as they go to Fulham, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Could they be Arsenal's biggest challengers? We'll discuss that shortly. A lot of people want to have their say about their club, so just briefly, we talk about great goals. John at Deb's Ironing Shop in Wakefield says, "Morning, boys, top show. What about the Anton Stack free kick for Leeds? His goals were all sublime." You know what, John, I'm sorry, that's a goalkeeping error from my point of view. Yeah, you agree, Coisty?
I do. Yeah, great free kick, perfect timing, brilliant result, keeper suspect.
Yeah, Ginger Joe in Elmswell says, "Can we take a moment to appreciate Watford's start to the season? One of the favourites to go down. Ika, bravo, transfer question. He has been brilliant so far." Absolutely agree with that. Mike the Pompey fan says, Bristol City fans keep going on about Don Ballard's goal at the weekend. Take a look at the 3 Pompey scored at Lincoln. They were magnificent. Yeah, and there's some good goals. But I'll tell you what, not in the same league. Well, they were in the same league as Don Ballard's goal.
I know what you mean.
But not in the same league in terms of quality of goal. And there's absolutely no shame in that at all. And Hickey and Tiger Phil says, Jeff and Ali, Tigers fans here, skipped into the office with a smile on my face this morning after a fantastic weekend. I completely agree with Coisty. Getting the wins early on in the season is crucial for our survival. Now, it's crisis mode, really, for Aston Villa after the opening weekend. A 4-0 hammering at Brighton. Could have been more. And it was made even worse by new signing João Gomez seeing red.
You're everywhere and nowhere, baby. That's where you're at.
Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Aston Villa 0. Brighton 2, Aston Villa 0. And if De Kuiper's first one will go down as an own goal by Lindelof, this one is all his.
This team at the moment wouldn't be any good playing on a Thursday night. Brighton have totally swarmed all over them.
Brighton 3, Aston Villa 0. This is extraordinary. They're destroying Aston Villa.
And I think most Aston Villa fans will be a bit worried this season, but they'll trust the manager.
Half an hour gone. Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0. It is Jack Hinchelwood again.
What Unai Emery has done since he's come to Aston Villa, to be selling your best players every season, but he doesn't moan, he gets on with it.
I can't answer it. This is the question for him.
João Gomez has been sent off for Aston Villa.
And the most important is for me is don't lose the mind, our thoughts on the field when we were in one moment like that.
We've just driven 3.5 hours to Brighton, right, to watch our team without a striker. We've left at half time because we're 4-0 down with a red card.
When you're tired of playing,
Aston Villa.
Well, first things first, that Aston Villa fan who left at half-time should hang his head in shame, because the Villa fans who stayed in the second half were brilliant. Brilliant.
Of course
they
were.
sang and they supported their team, even though they were getting a right thumping. Now,
Jeff, I need to say on that matter, you're absolutely spot on. Particularly in Europe, I've seen the Villa fans away in Europe at various places, whether even by the Super Cup or last year's final, and they have been magnificent, and they've never taken anything for granted.
Yeah.
And it just sounds a wee bit like that fella's taking things for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, talking of hanging your head in shame, talkSPORT and Villa star Gabby Agbonlahor took to social media on Saturday to hammer Spurs for their 3-0 defeat and Manchester United for their 2-0 defeat. So the question we want to know this morning, after Villa's 4-0 defeat, is has he turned up or has he bottled it? Gabby, hang your head in shame.
I'm devastated.
Gives it out, but can't take it.
Oh, that's poor. That is poor. We need to get that man on the show before the end of the programme. Now it's not like him. Normally he dishes it out and he can take it. I'm making a prediction he'll turn up at some point. He has to. He has to. You're not confident, I can tell.
No, I'm not confident. Ryan has texted and said, I absolutely guarantee that if Gabby does come on, he'll say Villa drew the second half. And in fairness, they only drew the second half because Brighton, quite rightly, took their foot off the pedal. They still could have had a couple of goals. Might have had a penalty as well. But look, on a serious note, I look at Unai Emery. I don't think anybody questions that he's a top manager. He's lost so many players. He's having to deal with things like Ollie Watkins seeming to want out, Emi Martinez seeming to want out. And I just wonder how long it will be before Unai Emery, while his stock is high, will think, I want out. This is not for me.
No, you know something, Jeff? I don't think the time will come where he'll say, I want out. I think the time might be coming where he'll say, I've got to get out. Because I actually think there's no doubt, pound for pound, he might be the best coach manager in the league. He's certainly one of them, in my opinion. Certainly one of them. But if he looks about and what he's achieved there, you know, I think it's been remarkable. And I think the Villa fans would accept that and are forever grateful for what he's achieved at that club at this moment in time. However, if you keep getting stripped of your assets and not been encouraged or not been allowed to replace them, where does it leave you? At what point do you say, you know, I'm fighting here. I'm in a boxing ring, my hands tied behind my back. And he can't be far short of that position now.
Yeah, he certainly appears to have his hands tied behind his back. But speaking on talkSPORT's Premier League All Access podcast, Troy Deeney leapt to the defence of Ollie Watkins and insisted that Villa boss Emery needs to take responsibility.
Should he have played today knowing that there's never a question on the manager and how bad or did he do or anything wrong?
By the same token, the Martinelli thing, right?
100%. But then, like, a player drops out and it's like, oh, he's not, you know, they're playing him, so why should it be there? What, to get injured? And then you, like, just throw me off to the side anyway? You don't know what the conversations have been like. I just think for Unai Emery, while he's a top coach and all of those things are fantastic, I think the other side to it is, if he doesn't like you, he mugs you off better than anybody. If I'm Garnacho, you just brought me in and you bring me on with, what, 3 or 4 minutes left?
I mean, that doesn't bode well.
Well, I mean, whether you like Garnacho or not, and I'm not his biggest fan, like, there's a human level, right? You've just brought me in, we're losing, and you give me some pity minutes, and you think that's going to make me feel better. I'm not here for the whole Unai Emery, you know, everyone just turn around and go, oh, look, he's trying his best. He creates problems as well, by the way.
Well, I'm not sure about that. You know, what's he meant to do? You're down to 10 men, you're losing 4-0. You're going to bring Garnacho on for the whole of the second half?
No, I mean, I think what Troy's saying there, I don't agree with it, because he mentioned the word responsibility. What Unai Emery's responsibility is the welfare of Aston Villa and running it to the best and coaching it to the best of his abilities and making decisions that, correctly, Troy's spot on, will upset people, particularly players. But that can't matter. That cannot come into the equation, because coaches and managers inevitably will make some players happy, but they'll upset a lot of players by not playing them, not giving them enough time, all that kind of stuff. That goes with the territory. Yeah. That's not something new, Jeff. That's been here and will be here to the end of time. I still think I do have... See, I'd love to know the question as well. Troy mentions Garnacho there, right? I'd love to know how high on the agenda of players I want to bring in Garnacho would have been in Unai Emery's list.
Well, you're suspecting it'll be some way down?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, Unai Emery has been dealing with players, as we mentioned, great players, Tielemans, you know, I mean, it looks like he's going to lose Rodgers, Cons is away, Digne's away. The list goes on. What would suggest that Unai Emery would say, I know what I'll do, I'll go and get Garnacho to help soften the blow? We've already said that he's one of the best managers and coaches going. Now, unless he thinks Garnacho has been a wasted talent for 24 months or whatever it may be, and he can bring the best out of him, then I would question that signing, whether it would be Unai Emery's certainly choice or first pick. So, I get it, but players will get upset with coaches, get upset with managers, but I think Unai Emery will very soon be at the time. And I mentioned to you earlier, Jeff, you know, I don't mean what's the point. I don't think he'll chuck it or throw in the towel. But if your hands keep getting tied behind your back and your best players, your assets stripped, and you're not allowed to bring in players of similar quality, then you got to start looking at your position.
Yeah. Unai Emery certainly wouldn't have chosen to have Arsenal in his next game either. Mike in Hazelmere says Ballard goal was just a stick a leg out and hope.
No.
Great improvisation, but nowhere near goal of the season, lads. Mike, you haven't seen it. If you think that, you have not seen it.
No,
because it was totally intentional.
Of course it was.
It wasn't just stick a leg out. Nothing like that at all.
Beautiful it was.
It was a piece of absolute genius. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to Fulham against Chelsea live and exclusive on talkSPORT tonight and discuss whether the feel-good factor is back on the blue side of West London.
Spurs fans will be on salty crook. You're still bitter from the Europa League final. I just think they've overspent Tottenham. I think they've gone a bit mad in the market.
Talking of which, hello, Kate.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Kate.
Oh, we've missed you, Kate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good to speak to you, Sam.
Nice to speak to you.
What about me and Crookie, Kate?
Oh, Gabby, it's not fair. Nothing's fair. It's not fair.
That's a good accent, that is.
I have never heard in all my years of being a Tottenham fan such salty, crying, pathetic whining from Villa fans as I have at this moment. Your owners, Gabby, have got the opportunity to do what Tottenham have done. Why not build a big stadium? You've got, I think, as far as I know, you've got a piece of kind of parkland near Villa Park.
I like the heritage that Villa Park has got, to be honest.
Well, you can't have your cake
then
and
you're
eat
never
it.
going to be a big club. You can't have it all, Gabby.
I think Villa are a bigger club than Spurs. Come on, let's not get silly now.
I'm just laughing at you. You're so funny. We finished 17th and we made 187 million more revenue overall than you in 24-25.
That's because Beyonce loves to come to the Spurs Stadium for gigs.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how you make the money. It's about making the money.
I love Beyonce to come to Villa Park.
Aston Villa, by the way, did a load of concerts to try and raise revenue themselves. They did that, actually, over the course of the last couple of years, which is great for them.
I agree.
But they do need to invest in the infrastructure around Villa
course.
Park, which is going to take time. Do you have to just understand that that is going to be the case?
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. Stuart says, morning lads, here's a prediction for you. Carrick out of United once the honeymoon period is over. Emery will be his replacement. Well, the Premier League, as you might gather, is back, and how this weekend. But we're not done yet. Small matter of Xabi Alonso's first game in charge of Chelsea still to come tonight.
There is no reason why Chelsea cannot win this title. In fact, I'm going to say it. Chelsea win the title.
Oh! It's come out to Moises Caicedo! Oh, he's rifled it in! What a strike! João Pedro in the box! João Pedro equalises for Chelsea! That strike is rifled in by Sessegnon, and Fulham finally have the goal that they deserve!
I reckon Fulham as well might go down. Yeah.
Fulham. I'm slightly concerned for them.
We feel ready for next Monday, big game, and yes, so we feel confident.
Chelsea get their new campaign underway at Craven Cottage tonight. Chelsea have spent, something like €407 million in the window. You can do the translation into pounds yourself. But their net spend is just over £200 million because, of course, they brought a decent amount of money in. So, is Jason Cundy, no bias, of course, right to believe this squad could win the league? Let's say a very good morning to the man who won the FA Cup with the Blues, Jody Morris. Morning, Jody.
Morning, Jody.
Morning, guys.
Are you as optimistic as Cundy then? Could this side win the league? Could they at least push Arsenal?
No, I mean, I think Cundy's confidence with his new hairline is overtaking his football confidence as well. Listen, I'd love to be in the same bracket as Cundy, thinking we got a chance of winning the league. But listen, one game a week is obviously going to be a lot easier than being involved in Champions League football. But I don't see us closing the gap on people like Arsenal and Man City and the likes. So, yeah, I think we should do a lot better than last year. But as far as challenging for the league, as I said, Cundy's confidence with his airline is overtaking his football confidence.
Jody, tell me, I think that the lesser amount of games will certainly help and it'll be interesting. And I think they've made some good, very, very interesting signings. Obviously, Rodgers, Lacroix, Welbeck and Henderson. The need, is that what is required? Because we looked at Chelsea last year, there was an awful lot of inconsistency, I felt, mate, and it looked as though there was a lack of kind of experience on and off the park. Has that been addressed?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Coisty. I think that's been the problem for a good 2 or 3 years now, is that we're very young and we could have done with a bit of experience. The only negative that I would say of, and by the way, I think Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck are great signings for Chelsea, and I think they're going to help the group on and off the pitch. But I'm not too sure that they make the first 11. So, you know, when you go in, like, you want experience to, like, kind of funnel through the group. I'm not sure they make the best starting 11. So that's the only problem that I would say with that. But as I said, I'm pleased with the fact that we're signing experience. But, I mean, I'm more intrigued to see how we're going to play. I think it looks like we're going to go to a free Coisty, like obviously with Lacroix coming in and Levi Colwell and stuff. And Palestri looks like he's going to play wing back. But the only negative, the two negatives that I said, I've said one about Henderson and Welbeck maybe not being in the start 11, but I worry about Esteval. I wonder where he's going to get in the team. I think he's a huge talent. And I just think if Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers are going to be the 2 10s of João Pedro, which is an amazing front line, I just wonder where Esteval's going to get in, to be honest.
A lot of Chelsea fans on text, Jody, worry about the goalkeeper. What's your view about Robert Sanchez?
I understand it, to be honest. I think that if you're looking to go to the next level and you only need to look at the best team in the country, Arsenal, then they've got the best keeper. I think when you've been at a club and you had people like Peter Cech and Courtois in goal, then I think most Chelsea fans are looking at going, well, can we get anyone that's kind of near that sort of level? The reason we won leagues was because we had great goalkeepers. I'm not sure that Robert Sanchez is the one if we're going to go to, like I said, challenge for league titles. Albeit, I have to admit, I thought he done loads better last season than the first 2 previous. So, but yeah, I understand Chelsea fans may be questioning that. But at the same time, like I said, I do think that there was improvements from Robert Sanchez last year.
What about Fernandes, Jody? How are the Chelsea fans regarding him, and do you think he'll be there at the close of the window?
I'm not sure. I mean, I just think if a player don't want to be at your football club, then you got to try and get him out the door. Obviously, there's people upstairs that will have their own views on it regarding how much money we're going to get for him. But at the same time, if he's made it clear that he don't want to be at the football club, and I think a few Chelsea fans made it known when he came on as subbing, obviously in the pre-season game, that they're not too happy with his antics. The quicker, for everyone's sake, if he doesn't want to be there, I'm sure the manager wouldn't want him hanging about if he doesn't want to be there. And like I said, if he wants to leave, then as long as we get money that satisfies people upstairs, and I can see him going. But like I said, if we don't get the money, then he's a valuable asset. So if he doesn't leave the football club, then I think that he'll probably be in the starting 11.
What do you think would be acceptable in the mind of Chelsea fans this season, Jody?
I think we have to be, Jeff, I think we have to be top four. We have to be. I mean, regardless of how poor we were last year, we spent astronomical amounts of money on this squad, and we should be a lot better than we were last year. So I think we have to be top four. I think other teams are obviously improving and making good additions to their squad, but if you're at Chelsea Football Club, you shouldn't be sitting around talking about getting in the top 10 or top 8 or whatever. You've got to be Champions League places, I think, is the minimum. And I'd like us to go and challenge in the domestic cups. One game a week is as easy as you can get it. And I'm delighted that Alonso's going to have an easier ride than most Chelsea managers as far as his first year. But yeah, has to be minimum Champions League.
Brilliant.
Jody, just a quick one, mate, before we let you go. Frank, tough start for him at obviously at Arsenal at the weekend. However, you'd be looking about you, wouldn't you, if you're Frank, and saying, Hull, good result, Ipswich, good result?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to go, well, that's it. And I spoke to him yesterday, but I was like, the first 2 goals that Coventry conceded were avoidable.
Yes.
They're just mistakes that got punished early doors. And, OK, Arsenal could have won by a lot more. But the first 2 goals are pivotal. You know it, guys. Yep. I mean, giving away a 2-goal lead to the champions doesn't get any easier. But I thought that there were positives for him. And you're right, Coisty, when you're looking at what Ipswich and Hull have done in the week 1 of the new season, you'd have to say, well, they're a better team than both of them. Yep. So let's see. But I thought that there was positives for them. But you can't ask for a harder start, can you, playing against the champions?
No, absolutely. Jody, appreciate your time.
Great to see you, Paul.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
All the best.
Former Chelsea star Jody Morris there. A few people actually have texted me and said, have you seen Shea Adams' goal for Torino last night?
Oh,
against
brilliant.
AC Milan? And that's another brilliant goal. There's no question about it. It's not quite, for me, as good as the Don Ballard goal, but look, it's in a different country, different.
I'm going to make a statement to you right now.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Ballard's goal appeals to me more.
Yeah.
I think Adams is a harder goal to score.
Technically, it's an incredibly difficult goal to score, I think, you know. But look, they were both absolutely fantastic, fantastic goals. Just on Fulham Chelsea, by the way, we shouldn't just overlook the fact that it's a big night as well for Alvaro Arbeloa.
Absolutely.
He's got some doubters as well, and he's got limited experience. And he's pinned his hopes on Gonzalo Garcia, young Real Madrid striker, Cesar Palacios, young Real Madrid midfield as well. Players he knows. Shea Charles from Southampton, but they've lost Wilson and Diop and Jimenez, Sasa Lukic. It's a big task for him. There's no doubt about that. But let's see what he's made of, eh?
Yep.
We shall. So don't forget, tonight it's Fulham against Chelsea, and it's live on talkSPORT. Coming up, we'll bring you more on the latest transfer news. Many clubs proving this weekend they need some additions, and of course the clock is very much ticking. Very sad United fan Alex Crook will be with us next.
Yeah, all right, boys, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. Good to have you on. What do you want to say?
I just want to say this stinky Arsenal chat from you boys this morning is nothing short of comical.
Go on.
Gabby saying that Arsenal should be winning the league with our spending. Well, both of you. You know, recruitment's a big part of it. Look at the likes of City. Well, not City, but likes of Chelsea, United. They've spent loads of money. It's not a given that you're going to win the league. I think we've proven, you know, the culture Arteta's built alongside getting the right recruitment, bringing Berta in. You know, it's impressive.
Yeah.
So you don't think the money that you spent, you should be winning the Premier League?
I don't think it's got anything to do with the money. I think it's got to do with the quality.
You know what?
I think the quality of your squad is so good that you should be winning the league.
It costs a lot of money.
Definitely.
I agree. And that says more about the recruitment than just pure spending. Obviously, pure spending comes into it, but it doesn't mean that it's a given that we're going to win the league. Or I think we will win the league, but it isn't just as simple as saying we should be winning it. Arteta's not that good of a manager because of the spending.
Who said that?
Disagree with that. Well, that's what the sort of the signs I was getting from Gabby before. It was sort of like he should be winning the league.
No, when I'm saying you should win in the league, have you spent wisely? Yes, you have. Have you spent on players that have become fantastic players? Yes, you have. But you can't look at Arsenal's net spend over the last 6 years is nearly 800 million. You can't look at that and say, well, you know, we shouldn't be winning the Premier League.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by 3 men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
Yeah, good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, with us in Glasgow and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Now it's time for this.
The 150th anniversary test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army.
Ready for a trip of a lifetime? Can't promise you you'll meet Kylie, but we're going to send you and a mate down under.
Did I ever tell you about the time I did meet her? That's maybe a story for later on tonight, Jeff. Anyway, thanks to Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. You could be at the MCG. What a place it is. Tremendous stadium. And that, of course, we'll be watching England take on Australia at their 150th anniversary test match. We're talking a 5-day match tickets. We're talking 7 nights in the hotel. We're also talking an exclusive pre-match function with cricket legends and a day trip to the Great Ocean Road with return flights and spending money included, Jeff.
Did I ever tell you about the time that Paul Merson asked Kylie Minogue on a date? That is definitely one for later tonight.
It certainly beats mine.
Head to talksportwin.com right now to enter and for full T&Cs. Now, just shy of a week until the summer transfer window closes, so it's time for a bit of this.
Rookies Roundup, right here every day. Rookies Roundup, which players are on their way? If an agent's got a story.
Hello, Alex Crook. What you got for me?
Rookie gets it first.
Yeehaw, cowboy! There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah, let's bring in talkSPORT's chief football correspondent. I would imagine a little crestfallen this morning. Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Morning, boys. How we doing?
Ah, well, brilliant. Crookie, Jeff, I never even said to you. Crookie, the biggest surprise for me at the weekend was actually you not tripping over your bottom lip when you were going down for your pie at half-time at home, mate.
Well, you'll know I went down long before half-time and also left my 14-year-old boy in the stands at full-time. I was that disgusted with the Manchester United performance. I mean, it was a shocker, wasn't it?
Oh, I saw you go down, mate. I mean, we've been speaking about Hull all morning, and so we should. But United's performance, dear me, Crookie.
Yeah, fair play to Hull. I think Sergei Yakirovic is going to prove to be a very tactically astute manager. He's got Dean Holden as his assistant, obviously a boyhood United fan, but he was absolutely buzzing with that win over his club. And they deserved it, Hull. I thought they were brilliantly organised. I've pretty much been the only pundit on talkSPORT, and I think they've got a chance of staying up, and maybe people will come round to that way of thinking now. But the lack of energy, effort and endeavour from those Manchester United players is unforgivable. The bare minimum away from home against a newly promoted team on the opening day of the season, you have to match their levels of commitment. And these United players did not do that. And is it a surprise? You look at people like Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, these players have been part of the problem for too long, haven't they?
So is Carlos Baleba the answer to your problems then? And is it going to happen, Crookie?
It's going to happen. I'm told it could even be announced as early as today. Whether he's the answer or not, I don't know, because you look at United defensively, so poor, the 2 goals they conceded. I've mentioned Shaw already. They definitely need an upgrade in the left-back department. It seems to be every summer they target one area of the team, the United hierarchy. Last summer it was the forward line, obviously bringing Cunha and Mbumo and Šeško. This time it's 3 midfielders. Tillerman's miles off the pace for me at Hull, and Santos didn't cover himself in glory, but hopefully from United's perspective they'll improve. They've got to work on that defence. You know, I don't trust any of the central defenders, to be honest. I know they've got Martinez and De Ligt to come back, but can they stay fit? History tells us probably not. Lenny Yoro's not ready yet, nor is Heaven on what we saw at the weekend. And as I say, Maguire's been there a long time now. You can't question his character, but I think you can question his quality.
Tell you what, though, Crookie, I mean, the contrast in the way they played both sides was remarkable. Mentioned it early on. You know, Hull going to 5, the 2 wide boys were just different class. Getting up, first thing they thought about when they got to a wide area forward pitch, you know, was ask a question of the United defence, whip balls into the box, put good crosses in, and they certainly, I thought the quality really troubled United defensively.
Yeah, and they were just brilliantly organised. And actually, I think their style is going to translate to the Premier League, because you look at last season, they were pretty much in the relegation zone when it came to XG and possession. They don't mind the opposition having the ball. United had more than 70% possession, but there was no penetration. They can soak it up. They get a lot of bodies in their own penalty area. They make it very difficult for the opponents to find any space, and then they're pretty lethal on the counter-attack. But they just work their socks off. You know, Ollie McBurney, the boy Crooks in midfield, who's come up from the EFL. I think it's a brilliant story, and I know they're signing a lot of new players, but I thought it was really clever from Jakirovic and Dean Holden to put their faith in the players who'd taken them up from the Championship, the likes of Ryan Giles, who was also excellent, obviously Coyle, who's a local boy and very popular, and it worked, didn't it? It worked to perfection.
Crookie, Al Hilal in for Martinelli and Ollie Watkins, so it would seem.
Yeah, I think Watkins is going to happen now. I think it was pretty clear reading between the lines that Unai Emery is not happy with Aston Villa's star striker. The suggestion is that he didn't want to play yesterday, and I think this deal will get done, and then Villa will target Nicholas Jackson as his replacement. And Martinelli as well. I mean, it's pretty clear that he's not got a future at Arsenal. They left him out of the Community Shield. They left him out of the opening Premier League game at the weekend. It's a bit of a sad end, really, for someone I think has been a pretty good servant for Arsenal. But Al Hilal are seriously interested. They're willing to pay decent money. And I think, unlike when he was being hawked around for Turkey, I think Martinelli is half keen on this move as well.
Craigie, what about, I mean, we're obviously a lot of us, none more so than Jamie O'Hara, we're looking for a massive improvement in Tottenham's season. I know it's only one game, I get all that. However, it was a very, very poor start. Are they going to be strengthened? Is Mamouche deal going to go through?
Yeah, I think it will. I was told yesterday it was not done, but it was pretty close. I think it'll be a loan deal initially, probably just to help with the financial regulations, and then a permanent £50 million transfer. Obviously, Savinho, that deal was agreed last week, and I think they do need reinforcements. But from a Manchester City perspective, losing Marmoush does leave them a bit short, doesn't it? Erling Haaland, his new buzz cut, didn't exactly fire against Bournemouth. They don't really have a backup option. So interested to see what Man City do in the final week of the window.
Well, we're talking of Man City, Crookie. Nico Gonzalez left on the bench at the weekend. I can't imagine he was too happy when he saw that Mark Gay was used as a makeshift midfielder in preference to him. And now rumours that he might be off to Newcastle.
Yeah, I spoke to Matthias Jaisler after the game yesterday. I said, can you expect more incomings between now and the end of the window? And he said emphatically yes. And I think Nico Gonzalez is likely to be one of those. Again, not fully agreed, but edging close to £50 million there or thereabouts the fee. And I would expect him to be given permission to undergo Newcastle medical. It's interesting, isn't it, when you look at the departures from Man City this summer? It's pretty much everybody that Pep Guardiola brought in this time last year. Reinders, we think, is going to go to the Middle East. Marmouche, I've mentioned already. Now, Nico Gonzalez. It tells you that sort of rebuild that Guardiola was trying to oversee has not exactly been a roaring success. I know Savinho has been there a little bit longer, but he's not pulled up any trees either.
Crookie, thanks very much indeed,
Thanks,
mate.
Crookie. See you, Paul.
Cheers, boys.
And don't forget more from Alex Crook moaning about Man United. Check out the Premier League All Access podcast. He got good reason to moan about them, to be honest, after the weekend. Plenty of strong reaction from Alex and Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. So check it out wherever you listen to your pods. Steve says, Jeff Stelling, can you keep predicting Charlton to get relegated, please? It's working wonders. Absolutely. It's that magic Stelling touch. 2 wins out of 2. They're absolutely flying. Up next, we are joined by the Hull City captain, Louis Coyle, after they beat Man United on Saturday.
Danny, when you look at it, United in that fairly congested midfield area, say Baliba comes through the door, Tielemans is there, Santos, Mainu, Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's going to be a mighty old force in midfield, is it not?
It looks a very strong group of players, all giving little different parts of what you want. A far cry, really, from what we've seen over the last couple of years. United struggling in midfield areas. And I think we're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world. They'll be looking to try and compete for the Premier League and the Champions League in the next couple of years. Of course they will. That's the aim of a club like Manchester United. So you need at least 5 when you think about it in the middle of the park who are going to be pushing each other, especially if they play a three. You know, Bruno's probably the one standout, you say, in all the big games he's going to play.
Yeah.
He's got great durability anyway, and he's the match, the game changer, the match winner, the creative force, the goals. I would imagine for me, out of the others, I mean, Santos, Baliba, both young lads, both got more to come. Tielemans is more rounded, more ready to take that on. I think Tielemans has
Where's it leave Menu? A lot of people asking me to ask you that.
Well,
and what's your ideal starting three?
I think that would depend a lot on where they're at when they come in and how they adapt to the pressure and expectation of being at Man United, because that's never easy. I think initially he might go Tielemans, Bruno and Menu, because Menu knows what the manager wants already. I think Baliba will become one of the main men.
Here's that. Next March, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary test match down under. And as always, the Barmy Army will be there. And thanks to talkSPORT, Visit Victoria could be too. Enter now at talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. It's been a fantastic week for Hull City, who are back in the big time for the first time in 10 years. And my goodness, how many people did they prove wrong on Saturday lunchtime?
Yeah, Hull were gone, man. Listen.
That's how. Mate, they've not even kicked the ball yet.
They spent 70 mil. I'll be stunned if they stay up.
Bottom three, I've got Ipswich, Hull and Sunderland.
I think Ipswich and Hull don't look strong enough to me.
So I'd imagine Hull are probably, are they the first favourites? Because they still have a lot of business to do.
Comes to McBurney, saved by the goalkeeper off the post, and it's hammered into the net, and Hull City lead on the opening day of the season.
Fantastically well organised. They've caught them on the break a couple of times. I think the goalkeeper's made 3 saves already.
Later they hit it in towards the near post, and it's headed in, and they've scored again. Hull City have beaten Manchester United in the Premier League for the first time in their history.
Yeah, the last laugh very much going to Sergei Yakurovic's side on the opening day. What a story for Hull City. And I'm delighted to say we can welcome in local lad and Captain Louis Call. Louis, good morning.
Morning, Louis. Congratulations.
Morning, guys. Yeah, it was certainly a nice feeling waking up after this weekend. Yeah, just incredible story for the club, for the lads, and yeah, everybody's buzzing on this Monday morning.
Incredible story for you as well, isn't it? I think I'm right in saying that was your first Premier League appearance, and what a dream that must have been.
Yeah, it was big milestone for me personally. That was me dream from being a young boy to make my Premier League debut. But yeah, what an occasion to do it in at home against Manchester United, and again to top it off with a 2-0 win was just incredible to say the least.
Louis, I'm going to say, I mean, I reckon you and Ryan Giles on the other side must have been in your beds by about 9 o'clock on Saturday night, because the two of you up and down those flanks, I thought it was brilliant as an ex-centre forward myself. it clearly looked as though the tactic was get back into your 5 when you don't have the ball. When you do have the ball, get forward. And boy, did you put some deliveries into the box for Ollie McBurney and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, we worked on that all week. Listen, we know what we are. We're not naive. We're not going to have a footballing match with them and try and play them off the park. We had so much joy doing that last year when we was in that low block. We're well drilled. We know what we're doing. But when we do get the ball and we are in possession, we knew there'd be spaces down the sides. And like you say, Gilo on that side, incredible delivery. And you've got the big man in the box, which that's what he wants. That's where he scores his goals. So we was a big believer in Saturday. If we get the chance to cross the ball, don't turn it down. Let's not overcomplicate it. And I think, like you just touched on there, we had plenty of joy from that.
Yeah. You'll have heard before and you'll have read all week people writing you off in terms of the Premier League. To what degree did he use that as motivation, Louis?
I don't know what you mean. I didn't see any of it. No. Of course, like you say, especially with social media, it's hard not to say any of that. But we had similar things last year. We was wrote off last year. Obviously, the club was in a difficult spot under the embargo. Again, we defied odds in most people's minds last year, and I think, like you say, that's a familiar spot for us to be in. And yeah, I get it. When you come up as a promoted side, you're written off very quickly, and I think maybe us a little bit more from recent comments from some people. But yeah, it was certainly nice to get that first win and do it in the fashion in which we did it in. Like you say, they had a lot of the ball, of course. We know that was going to be the case, but I think we certainly put on a performance where people could take note of.
Louis, tell me, I thought your owner had a brilliant interview before the game, and he looks a real character. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And he said, one of his coaches said that the lads were dying to win, and you looked as though you wanted it more than them. Now it's sometimes an easy thing to say when you have a good day and the other team doesn't have a good day. But the one thing that wasn't up for debate, organisation, will to win, willing to work for each other, the whole camaraderie thing, and you're obviously going to need that at the early stage in the season for it to continue.
Yeah, you put it perfectly there. That's what this squad's built on. I don't want to keep going on about last year because obviously, like you say, this season's a new season, but ultimately last year is the reason we're now in the Premier League, and everything we built last year was built on that team spirit, togetherness, that resilience. And again, we are going to need that more than ever this year. The level's a completely different beast, and we know that. We know we're going to have probably a tough afternoon every single week we play. The Premier League's a fantastic division. It's the best league in the world. But yeah, we're going to need that, and I think you saw that right from the off on Saturday, and we're going to have weeks where we're not quite at it on the ball, or a technical performance may not be where it needs to be. But one thing this group will always have, which is a non-negotiable in our dressing room, is that heart, that spirit, that fight. And yeah, that's what saw us through a lot of games last year. And again, in the later moments of the game, when you're protecting that 2-0 lead on Saturday against a fantastic side full of top players, you need that. So yeah, to tick that box very early on in the season, which I know this dressing room's got in abundance, is very pleasing for me to see.
Yeah, and we've got people coming on here this morning, Louis, saying you could be this season's Sunderland. Is that the ambition?
Yeah, the goal is to stay in the league. Let's not be around the bush. The goal is to stay in the league. That's the clear and obvious aim when we came up. And again, they had a fantastic year last year, and what an example to set to the sides coming up from the Championship. We're very, very lucky. We've got a fantastic owner, fantastic people at the club that will do everything they can to give us the best chance. And then it's over to us lads on the pitch, and like you say, in that squad to do everything we can to keep this club in the division.
Louis, I thought all areas of pitch you were different class, particularly the two boys in Middle Park, Matty Crooks and Regan Slater. However, your three centre-backs, John Egan, the other two lads, your goal scorers come off. How are they?
Yeah, they're good. Again, I think, like you say, we didn't have a lot of the ball, so not just physically, but mentally it's draining, it's tiring, having to concentrate to that level for 90 minutes, and I think you saw the effects of that maybe 60, 70 minutes with a few of the boys. But yeah, right through the team, you touched on there, the back three, but again, so fortunate in this team. We have lads that defend from the front, Big Ollie up front, across the whole pitch, the lads in midfield that you touched on there, Crooksy, Regan. Yeah, just so buzzing for the lads, because like you say, it's nice to always get that win first day of the season, but to do it in the manner in which we did, just, yeah, fair play to the lads.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, you're in the big time now in the Premier League. Is there anybody in particular, either individually or in terms of clubs, that you're looking forward to playing against most, Louis?
I don't want to sound like an old man here, but I'm a little bit older now. I don't tend to get excited about certain teams, or that's not me trying to play it off. But it's my little nephews. My nephews try and keep me young. I've got a brother Tom who's got 3 boys, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to be playing against so and so, this team, that team. We need tickets for that game," and they sort of keep me young in that sense. But no, for me, it's just more like you say, the fact that the club's back in the Premier League. I've now made my Premier League debut, which, again, I probably mention him in every interview, and I'll never tire from it. But that was a promise that I finally kept to my old man. So yeah, for me, it's just I'm more looking at that side of things, the sentimental reasoning in me making my debut, and yeah, no matter who I'm playing against, at the end of the day, I'm playing in the Premier League, which is beyond my wildest dreams, but I did it, and yeah, rightly so. Hull City are back in the Premier League, so. Yeah, I'm a happy chap. Let's put it that way.
Lou, you look in the bright side, mate. No matter how old you get, you're no old as Jeff and I, and we can't get excited. We can't get excited about anything nowadays, Lou.
Well, I'm sure you do, boys. I'm sure there's still you get excited about whether we can talk about it or not.
Brilliant, Louis. Coventry away next weekend, so completely different challenge.
Yeah, again. Every game this year is going to be tough. It's littered with top sides, and again, Coventry, another team that's come up through the Championship. They was fantastic last year, and again, I know they had a tough opening fixture against Arsenal away, and that just shows the level. But again, that'll be a fantastic game. 2 sides going at it, and yeah, it'll be a tough game. They'll obviously want to get their first win, and we'll be looking to build on the win against obviously Man United the other day.
Brilliant. Well, look, so many congratulations, mate. Let's hope the season continues to go just as well for you. Thanks for taking the time out this morning, Louis.
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much for your time. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Louis Coyle, the Hull City captain, Premier League debut at the weekend. And what a way to make your Premier League debut in a 2-0 win over Manchester United. Scott has texted, echoing the views of many. Jeff, Ali, how the hell did Ollie McBurney not get into that Scotland squad for the World Cup? Yeah, good question. I think we'll just leave it hanging there.
Yeah, I can't.
So what you got planned, Coisty, the rest of the day? Quiet
day, mate. Then I'm coming down. I look forward to. Hopefully we'll watch that game tonight. You and I. I don't know if you get plans, but I'll give you a shout. We'll catch up.
I've got no plans, mate, apart from to probably head to the sports bar and watch it there. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Me too.
I don't think the Fulham will be a pushover for Chelsea. I really don't, but it's going to be intriguing, that's for sure. Have a great day, mate.
You too, pal. See you tomorrow. We'll see you tonight, hopefully.
See you tonight, absolutely. And of course, Ali back alongside me live in the studio tomorrow from 6. Set your alarms. Coming up next, Jim White, Simon Jordan and Martin Keown.